Get ready.
Man, I don't ever want to be so woke that me and the KKK are out here agreeing on the same shit. Before they were killing people to keep us from voting. Now we talk ourselves out of the shit.
For real talk.
Before you get out here loud and wrong talking about minimum wages and starter jobs, educate yourself on why the minimum wage was created in the first damn place.
All the time.
You shouldn't be the same person you was 10 years ago. You should be growing towards a better you every day. And the only ones who will be threatened by that are the ones who refuse to grow and are scared their ass gonna get left behind.
Welcome to the Spann Report with your host, Mr. Spann.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Spann Report podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Spann. This is episode number 284 of the report. And right now, we are chilling out with the homie of the Mocha Minutes podcast, host of the Mocha Minutes podcast, and the Ratchet Aunties and Uncles Hour. I got the homie Stephanie here with us. Say what's up to the people, fam.
Sup, y'all? Sup, y'all? Glad y'all here for the fume.
Oh man, the fume, man, the fume. So check this out, y'all know this week we ain't come in with no tunes today, man. I ain't know what the fuck to listen to. I ain't know. I was like, and we were talking about this before we went live. Mm-hmm. You know, we were thinking maybe some gospel because it's a funeral, but nah, maybe not. But then we was thinking like maybe like some Killer Mike because we gonna be talking about Umar Johnson's ashy ass, and it was like, I don't actually listen to Killer Mike. I don't know what the fuck this nigga be singing, right?
I don't either. Like, and I don't know if they like each other. So I'm like,
yeah, see, the thing with Killer Mike, the only time I've ever listened to Killer Mike is when he dropped that shit with Run the Jewels, and like they hit that one single for the Black Panther movie. That was the only time I ever got hyped to listen to anything Killer Mike had to say. Like anytime. And really, I wasn't even listening to it for him. Like the beat had me. I was like, all right, I can rock with that. But yeah, man, no Killer Mike. We're trying to figure out something some Hoteps would listen to. I thought about Common, but I wasn't going to disrespect hometown like that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all not want to have me out here slandering Chicago like that. You know, I wear Chicago on my sleeves, baby. It's on Chi-Town all day long, baby. No, you know, I ain't going to go like that. But
we could have played some Jussie. Tell the truth.
Oh, shit. Cook in the chat room was like, yo, man, you could have played some Lupe for the Hoteps. Now, you know what? Lupe is a Hotep. I ain't listened to Lupe in about damn near 8-9 years, man. I remember I was a meter reader listening to Lupe. I think Lasers was the last album of Lupe I listened to. And I think he's from Chicago too, though.
I think he is. I thought he was.
You know what, man? Real talk. Like, hold on, man. Now, hold up. Now that I'm thinking of it.
He is from Chicago. She said, fuck Lupe.
Chi-Town might be a Hotep hotbed. Oh Lord, man, hold on, man.
It might.
Hold on, just
all of them.
Chi-Town is a Hotep hotbed. You know what, man? We off on the bad start already, but let me let me get this right, man. Let me see, Cook. You ain't gonna be in the chat room naming niggas from Chicago that's fucked up. Okay, we got enough.
And I don't even know. It's like
Lupe.
Yeah, because I think he is. You know what Kanye does count because they sure do keep that nigga.
Yeah,
they're like, nope. We just give us new tunes and we fine. I'm like, are we fine?
We should be having the fume for the soul of the old Kanye too. But let me remind y'all how to get in touch with us over here at the Spann Report podcast. Let your voice be heard. Go ahead and hit up the hotline, area code 313-288-0485. That's area code 313-288-0485. Leave those voicemail messages. Of course, those messages will get played here live on the show and responded to in kind. You can also email us here, feedback@thespannreport.com. That's feedback@thespannreport.com. Leave us those emails, and of course, those emails will get read here and replied to here on the show. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. My name on both of those platforms is Mr._Spann. So go ahead, follow me there. Chop it up with your man Spann throughout the week. Hit us up on iTunes and or Stitcher Radio with those 5-star reviews. The 5-star reviews are the ones that get read here live on the show. We really appreciate everybody who goes about the business of doing that. Don't cost you nothing, man. It's free. You know what I'm saying? And it helps us over here, man. Like, people be looking for those reviews like, hey, man, why do they listen to this shit? And then you go to the reviews and like, bam, 5 stars all over the place. Let me check that out. You know what I'm saying? So we really do appreciate y'all when y'all do that kind of shit, man, because it don't cost you nothing, man. It's a couple minutes of your time, man. Look out for your boy like that. I give y'all hours and hours and hours of free shit every week. You know what I'm saying? Like, look out for your boy, man. Come on, man. It's been a while.
Play that music. Play that Sarah McLachlan song.
I'm just,
hold on. Just play the song for him. Play the song, honey.
Is there one? Is there one that will help us here at the Spann Report Podcast Network with a 5-star review donation? Every 5-star review you leave helps a struggling podcaster get more listeners. It doesn't cost you a dime, just a couple more minutes of your time to leave us a 5-star review here at the Spann Report Podcast.
I said, we need a drop. You gonna sell that drop to every black podcast out there. Use this in your drop. Put that, splice that into your audio. But everybody.
I'm saying, man. Leave us those 5-star reviews, man. It's been a while, man. The damn 5-star review shit been ashy in the motherfucker. I need all the Jergens up in here. You know what I'm saying? Castbox too. Leave us a review on Castbox. Leave comments on Castbox. Those Castbox comments and everything will get read here live on the show. I fucks with Castbox. I use Castbox to listen to shows. And it's easy, man. Like, you don't even have to leave an app to leave comments or reviews or whatever. You just do it per episode or for the podcast itself. You can do that. So thank you for everybody who does that, right? Also, hit us up on our website, www.thespannreport.com. Leave us comments there. You can donate to the show there, become a part of our Patreon, help us continue to do this show here live on Crowdcast, because this shit ain't free. And we really do appreciate everybody who contributes to the Patreon, become part of the Golden Circle of the Spann Report Podcast Network. And y'all get an extra day of the Spann Report Podcast in February because it's a leap year. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all the babies that's going to be celebrating their birthday on March 1st for the next 3 years. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to them babies, man. There was a baby born here in the Detroit area today, man. Shout out to that little kid, man. Going to be confused for the rest of their life. You know, because we got.
Oh, that's right. Because it would be on March 1st.
It's like March 1st. But shout out to that baby. Like, I was born February 29th. Nigga, ain't no February 29th. They're going to be arguing with. Gonna be arguing with dummies and shit.
You know, this smart ass kid on the playground. There is no February 29th, dumbass.
Yeah,
it's like
those smart dummies. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's called leap year, you dumb motherfucker. Look it up. Gonna be in 10th grade getting everybody together, man. Real talk. But yo, we got the homie Stephanie here with us. Let everybody know how they can get in touch with you. Let everybody know what's going on with you at Mocha Minutes and the Ratchet Aunties and Uncles. Like, let everybody know what's going on with you, girl.
But you can find. I need the drop with the Sarah McLachlan music and the smooth voice.
I got you.
DJ Spann. DJ Spann, you're gonna drop the octave for y'all. It's like, oh, okay. You can find the Mocha Minutes podcast everywhere you can find podcasts except for SoundCloud. You can find literally the first or second episodes of the Mocha Minutes podcast on SoundCloud. Pray my strength. Love me through it, beloved. That's all I have to say about them early episodes. That's all I'm going to say. Love me through it. But you can find me at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, Castbox, iHeartRadio, everywhere you find me there. You can also find me on my own, like nice little drop site. I'm not as sophisticated as Mr. Spann, but it is mochaminutes.libsyn.com. You can also email me, mochaminutes@gmail.com. Would love the 5 stars. I'm getting this drop. It's you and it's Diamond that be dropping this music with Sarah McLachlan, because y'all know that the white people love dog, so we gotta use the white people dog music to get y'all to donate. So yes, so yeah, that's it.
I started using that shit on Beer and Chicken, like trolling Cliff, really, just like trolling Cliff. That's how I started using that shit. I'm like, you know what, Cliff gonna say some dumb shit, and I'm gonna have to like dead that shit, and like, you know what, something that's gonna make him feel real salty. And and every time I play, man, I hate that shit, man. Shout out to Cliff, man. Shout out to Cliff. But,
oh, Cliff.
Yeah. So what's been going on with you though this week? How you been?
So, this week has been a week of fighting through Stephanie's depression and just trying to figure out my life, basically. Not with Mocha Menace. Mocha Menace is fine. Mocha Menace is great. Ratchet Aunties, Uncles are great, but working through depression is a motherfucker for anybody going through it. Mm-hmm. And so sometimes you have to walk through it, but I think the part of depression that people don't know is that you got to give yourself the grace to walk through it, and for a long time you just don't.
Yeah.
And so you have to allow yourself to feel. And so that's what's also been going on. Also, there is a very dear friend in Pattern Land, but just a friend, period, that is being laid to rest today. That is Curtis. If you guys listen to Flawless Noises, you listen to Ratchet Ramblings, listen to Gay Side Stories, his funeral is today. So he is a leap year funeral. But it's not even going to matter at this point. But, shout out to Curtis. And I've said this for weeks that he was one of the best podcast voice I've ever heard, because he was so transparent on the mic. Mm-hmm. He's very transparent about himself. He was also very witty and very funny. He always had a line, a turn of phrase. It's like a lot of things that you probably hear throughout the lexicon or on the internet. He's Roman Spicy Bird. Curtis probably said it and somebody's just repeating it. So he is definitely going to be missed. The people who love him are definitely going to miss him, and it's a lot today. So please keep the Flawless Noises Media podcast family in your prayers and in your thoughts.
Yes, indeed.
A lot to lose somebody, because it's he's younger than both of us, and so that's always a gut punch when someone younger than you passes away. It's like, wow. And the last time I talked, he was on my show the week before. It was actually January 30th. That was when we recorded, and then the episode came out in early February, and then the week after he passed, and it was just like, this is so crazy. And I remember us talking about all the things that he wanted to do with his show and the stuff. He was like, I'm gonna get myself together. I'm going to do a rebrand of my show. He had plans, and so to see it stop like that was just, it's a lot. And I know that Candace and Bree are going through a lot because they're at the funeral now. So just keep them, lifted up, because it's a lot.
Yeah. No doubt. And, that's the one thing about just life in general. Like, we can make all the plans in the world. I could have plans like 10 years down the line from what the Spann report could be or what I want it to be and everything else. It's not guaranteed that that's going to happen. And, it's a testament to just putting in the work when you're here. And not only that, like when you're losing friends, like, and we talked about this. I know I saw a lot of people talk about this on the death of Kobe. Where, you give the people their roses while they're here, because you're not guaranteed tomorrow. And so it's always bittersweet when someone so young loses their life, because you never envision them not being here. I think we all have visions of us growing old and sitting back, talking shit to the kids, that sort of thing, but it's not promised to you. So, just try to live every day to the absolute fullest, never try to waste a moment or a day, and never not tell anybody around you love them when you got the chance to.
Right.
So, shout out to them, rest in peace. We got some listener feedback here. We got some listeners.
Oh, sorry. They didn't hear my eyes get really wide. My eyes got really wide.
I'm gonna tell y'all this right now, man. This is another thing too, to the people that fuck with your boy, like, for real. The people that don't fuck with you will let you know.
Oh, that's people loud.
Them people, they be letting you know like it's their job, son. So I almost want to say this is my favorite antagonist, right? Because he's so consistent. Like, if nothing else, this nigga is consistent. So we get this email. This is from Shaka 1914. Shaka wrote in to talk about Kobe Bryant again.
This is the worst Black History Month ever.
Oh my God! Like, I'm kind of exhausted of the Kobe story. Although I know we're gonna talk a little bit about it because of Snoop being on the Red Table Talk earlier this week.
Yeah.
But
Cook said it. This is the worst celebrity death ever. She said it. It really is. It's like,
because it's like, it's so many different stories, so many different threads. People are pulling in, making other issues there really weren't any issues to be had much. And shout out to, like, real talk. I know we like our black media and everything, but sometimes, man, we could be a bit messy. Like, I'm talking about Rolling Out. You know what I'm saying? Rolling Out be having some of the worst fucking clickbaity ass headlines. Sometimes News One be having some of the worst clickbaity ass headlines, and nobody's reading these stories, man. They see those headlines and they just go in the comment sections and argue. But Shaka 1914 writes in to say, Spann, you keep forgetting the main reason why people are upset with Gayle King. The reason they're upset with Gayle King is because she insisted on Kobe Bryant's guilt while... Nigga, you need to put some punctuation on this shit, bro. The reason why is because... Okay.
Okay. Oh, I can't wait to hear this.
I don't know what the hell. So, all right. So check this out. I'm gonna try to translate this shit. Basically, it looks like he's trying to say that the reason why folks are mad at Gayle King is because she insisted on his guilt with, the questioning of it, you wouldn't see it though, right? So, I don't know what the fuck the rest of this is supposed to say. But okay, so check this out. Check this out, y'all. I'm gonna try to like break this down so hard to where we ain't got to talk about this shit no more. Really. I'm gonna even get personal. I'm gonna tell a personal story of mine too. So we gonna get deep on this one. So we could dead this shit hopefully. But I said this when I had the fellas from the Shop Talk podcast on the show. That when someone does something outlandish, or something like you can know somebody and not know them to do certain things, right? Like people only show you a portion of them that they want you to see. You can know somebody and not necessarily believe that person is capable of the thing that they're being accused of. All right. Now, you see it all the time on the news where, somebody does something or they're accused of doing something and their family is all over the television like, not my boy. We ain't raised him like that. Ain't no way in hell he did no bullshit like that. Right? And we see these people on TV. A lot of times we laugh at these people on TV like, man, look at these motherfuckers. Don't nobody ever think they motherfucking friends capable of doing nothing. Right? Tell y'all a story. And I talk with my brother so I can tell y'all this story. Because this has to do with my brother. So, about 15 years ago, there was a story here in Detroit of a body coming up missing from Providence Hospital, and the hospital didn't know where the body went. Right? About a week later, there was another story in the news where they found a corpse in the trash bin behind a liquor store on the west side of Detroit. Okay. So at the time, my brother was, he had just kind of popped back up into Detroit. He had been moving around between Chicago and Milwaukee and everything. He had just kind of been around in Detroit, and he was driving around in this gold Impala and everything. And I was, at the time, man, your man Spann was like broke. Like I was riding a bike to work. I was a janitor at like a restaurant, getting paid $6 an hour. It wasn't real like, it wasn't the situation your man Spann is in now. And so my brother had a girlfriend at the time. He introduced me to her. I didn't know her, a whole lot. But he introduced me to her and her brothers and everything. And every time I saw my brother, I saw him with her brother. One day, I get a phone call from his girlfriend. And she says to me, Spann, you know that story about the body that came up missing at the hospital? I said, yeah, I heard about it. She said, do you know my brother and your brother is involved in that? Now, you get that phone call. I know my brother. Known my brother all his life. I'm the oldest. Now, I know my brother done been involved in some crazy shit, right? My brother is kind of like, was a scammy nigga. I'm just going to put it out. My brother was on, like, gift of gab, he could scam the fuck out of a nigga. Real talk. But no way in hell did I ever envision that my brother was capable of tricking a hospital into turning over a body to him. And you know how they transported that body out of that hospital? They put that body in the back of that damn gold Impala. The body was in the trunk. They had him on camera. Body was in the trunk. So let me tell you how more outlandish this story gets. Apparently, the reason that my brother gave for stealing the body is because he thought he would be able to use that corpse to transport drugs and money from Detroit to Chicago.
What? Oh my God.
Sounds crazy as fuck, right? Sounds crazy as fuck. Sounds like the fucking plot to Bad Boys 2. Because that's exactly the fucking thing I thought about when I heard. I'm like, wait, nigga, what? What?
Oh my God.
The other story that I got was that they were possibly going to try to do an insurance job with the body, like a life insurance policy with the body. Thing is, my brother got caught doing some other scammy shit. Got caught like trying to take some money out of someone's checking account at the bank, and the police rolled up on him, and that's how he got caught. And when he got caught, the girlfriend's brother got scared, and they dumped the body in the trash bin of the liquor store. Now, I could have been on television saying my brother wasn't capable of doing none of that shit. I don't believe my mama didn't raise us to do no shit like that. Ain't no way in hell I could believe him to do nothing like that. I know my brother. I love my brother. But guess what? My brother did that shit. And you know what else? My brother spent 12 years in prison behind doing that shit. Every time he came up for parole, that family was there like, nah, nigga. And it didn't help that the body whom he stole was an old white World War II veteran and shit.
Oh, you got to be kidding.
So, when I say, when Lisa Leslie is answering a question about whether or not her friend Kobe Bryant is capable of being a rapist, and she says, well, he didn't exhibit this behavior around me, guess what? My brother was scammy, but not to that fucking degree around me. So guess what I would say? Nah, my brother didn't do that shit. My brother, I couldn't see my brother doing that shit. So when I hear that story, or when Lisa Leslie is telling this story, like, well, he didn't exhibit these behaviors around me, I'm not looking at what Gayle King is saying is unfair. I'm looking at what Gayle King is saying is like, yo, yeah, you probably wouldn't see that shit though. He probably wouldn't exhibit these behaviors around you. Mm-hmm. So for all of y'all who keep talking about she's insisting on his guilt, no, she's saying that just because these things didn't happen around you, or the person that he portrayed himself to be around you is inconsistent with these actions, it doesn't mean the shit didn't happen. And so when I'm looking at this story, trust and believe I'm using my own personal experience while I'm engaging in this, right? So I could see that and be like, well, shit, she got a point. Because ain't no way in hell I could have seen my brother stealing a fucking body from a hospital and using it to transport drugs and money from Detroit to Chicago. I couldn't see that.
Nobody can.
Nobody would have. So I say all that to say that as much as we love people, as much as we think we know people, we only know what those people want us to. And you can try to absolve Kobe. You could try to deify Kobe, all of these different things, man. You could try to like make it out to be some sort of agenda that Gayle King and Oprah got against the black man and all this other bullshit that y'all come up with. But it doesn't negate the fact that what happened in 2003 happened. And it doesn't negate the fact that Kobe Bryant himself apologized for what happened in that room in 2003. Y'all never acknowledge his own motherfucking apology for what happened in that room. Some of y'all will say that he did that because it was of legal issues or whatever. Nah, he did that after it was already settled, brother. The shit was done. The shit was done.
Right after the charges were dropped. He put that out.
So, yeah, man. Y'all got to come off it. Y'all got to come off it.
Can I give you what? It took me 4 days and literally a weekend off of social media to figure this out, that there were a lot of people mad at Gail, and they don't want to admit that they didn't want to hear that because they don't think he did it. You think he's innocent. So it's like, don't bring this up because he's innocent. Because when OJ dies, y'all not going to have this. Let's have this memoriam on his life. Let's not talk about it. Yeah. When R. Kelly dies, when Harvey Weinstein dies, when Donald Trump dies, y'all not going to do this. You're going to bring up every bad thing that's ever done. You don't want it brought up because you don't think he did it.
Exactly.
You think he's innocent.
That's why they started invoking Emmett Till.
Now, it was like, right? Please keep that boy's name out your mouth.
Every black dude who's been accused of sexual assault is not fucking Emmett Till.
It's like, I swear, don't make me get some black witches together and we want to invoke Mamie Till to haunt y'all asses because I'm sick of y'all.
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, that's our listener feedback, man. Listen, Shaka, 1914. First of all, whatever's going on with that email that you sent us, get that shit fixed. If you're going to keep writing up here to troll a nigga. But second of all, man, like, you got to come off it, man. You got to come off it. Like, and if you're going to spend this much time writing a nigga, man, shit. I mean, obviously you like the show, you know what I'm saying? Like, you keep listening. You write in all the time to talk shit, but I low-key think you like this motherfucking show, man, real talk. But,
you want to argue.
Yeah, but
you just want to argue. I'm like,
I guess, man.
Wait, don't waste your pretty with this.
I guess, because this is probably some shit that he probably would say in like, what's that? A 5-star rating or like rate it, but since he know I
love it. Let me tell you, brother, how you wrong, and you don't see the big picture.
But since he know I ain't gonna read nothing less than a 5-star review, like it would look crazy as hell. But it'd be 5 stars up there, and he got some real fucked up shit to say. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Rod and Karen for the genius of that shit, man. Like for real.
Like if it's less than 5, I'm not reading it. I'm not even acknowledging it. It's like I appreciate the review, but 5 on it.
Shout out to them, man. Real talk. But yeah, that's our listener feedback, man. Mm-hmm. Hey, if y'all fuck with your boy though, like write in, man, so we can drown these ashy motherfuckers out. Anyway, it's time for us to get into the news, y'all. All right, our first story here in the news, man. We got some crazy shit happening out of Roseville, Michigan. So check this out. Some dude robbed a Home Depot and loss prevention went after him, but this nigga chased loss prevention back in the motherfucking store before pulling the fuck off, getting away with all the shit.
You better get the fuck away from me.
Man, okay. Listen, we're going to read this story here. This comes out of clickondetroit.com. It says, a thief who was confronted by a loss prevention officer outside a Roseville store chased the officer back inside and pistol whipped him several times. A man walked into a Home Depot at 20500 13 Mile Road in Roseville around 1:40 p.m. Sunday, according to authorities. He loaded up a shopping cart with around $1,000 worth of merchandise and left the store without making any attempt to pay. As the man was leaving the store, a loss prevention officer confronted him. Authorities said the man brandished a black revolver-style handgun and chased the officer back into the store. When he caught up with the officer, he struck him several times with the handgun. Officials said he stole the officer's cell phone as he was exiting the store. The loss prevention officer was not seriously injured. The man grabbed his cart and rolled it into his dark-colored 2001 Toyota Camry. According to authorities, he fled the scene before police arrived. The man is about 45 years old and has a slim build, a gray beard, and a black mustache. He was wearing a black jacket, blue jeans, and black shoes with white soles. So check this out, man. The first thing I thought about when I saw this story.
Ain't this a bitch? I'm waiting on some action to jump off in here. You heard what Mr. Molly said? We top flight security of the world, Craig. Shit, not just the city, the world.
First thing I thought, man. That's the first thing I thought. So, off rip, I'm guessing that the security at this Home Depot was not armed. How you gonna get pistol whipped by the dude that's pushing the shopping cart, man? Like, they ain't arming their security guard, so he basically a flashlight cop, like Craig and Day Day was in Friday. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Top flight security of the world, Craig. How you gonna explain that though? You the loss prevention and you lost your phone while trying to prevent some
He
shit.
stole your phone. I'm like, he stole your phone?
He stole his phone.
You are bad at this job. You need to be fired.
Oh man! As a matter of fact, I think they got pictures of this dude. Let me see if I can pull the pictures up. Not the security guard, but of the assailant. Let's see if we can pull up the pictures of the assailant.
Chalet.
Oh man, let me see if I can pull this up. See what they gave a description, but let's see what he looked like. Where is it? Here we go. Damn, he got a University of Michigan hat on too.
Wait a minute. Is that Uncle Day Day robbing? Uncle Day Day is robbing.
Oh man,
he used that old man strength on y'all asses, and y'all weren't prepared.
Hey, you know it was an old nigga when they said he pulled out a revolver. You know what I'm saying? Niggas ain't walking around with revolvers like that. You little 6-shooter. You know what I'm saying?
He used that old man strength on y'all. Ooh, baby.
Oh man, yep. So yeah, man. He got away with $1,000 worth of shit. They got some pretty good pictures of him though. Like that was some real clear fucking pictures. That's another thing too. You always be watching these videos on TV and they be talking about somebody robbed somebody and you looking at the surveillance video like, nigga, I can't see shit. They all look like oil paintings. Like, but that dude right there, that's real motherfucking clear, man. They gonna probably get this dude, man.
They really are. They got way too clear a picture. It's like, y'all ain't found him yet?
Nah, so here's what's gonna happen. His own people gonna turn him in. Like, now Charles, you know you ain't had no business going up in there in that damn Home Depot stealing that shit. Fucking with your people up in that,
black
Charles.
Mama. Now, I done raised you better than that.
No.
You better go and turn yourself in.
No, check this out. His mama gonna be on the news, 85 years old. My boy, not my boy.
No, because I raised him better than that.
I raised him better. Not my boy. We done been through way too much in this family.
Everybody's saying
he wasn't there.
Everybody seemed to be raised better.
He wasn't
like,
there.
Okay.
Stress on to his mama. If he did this, I'd never be able to forgive him. It'd be fucked up, man. Real talk. She'd probably be like sitting. You remember that old lady that was like asked that reporter like how his dick is hanging? You don't remember that?
Wait.
You don't remember that? That's probably his mama. That's probably his mama. You know what? While we over here talking about she gonna be all somber and shit. Now she'd probably be the old lady who's like, "How your dick hanging?" Like,
man, let me.
You know what? That's a moment. Let me pull that up right now. Since you didn't know how your dick hanging. Hold on. You did not know about this.
No,
man. Hold on. See, we about to go back down memory lane here on the Spann Report podcast, man. I got to pull this up. She got to see this, man. Ain't no way in hell. How you walking around here and not seeing this? I can't believe you. I can't believe you.
All right. Oh,
no, that's right.
How your dick hanging?
So let's talk about your birthday.
Damn!
I agree, but you
He's like, look, lady, don't be look.
Oh, my great grand.
Yeah. Can you answer this question for me? How does it feel to be 100?
I feel like a lemon no mint squares.
You feel like what?
A lemon no mint squares.
Okay. And how many more years? You want another 100, right?
Oh yeah, I want 100 and 100.
So what are you doing to celebrate your birthday?
Huh?
What you doing to celebrate your birthday?
Give me a piece of dick.
I know.
Mother, please. Mother. Mother, please. They're like, God damn it, why y'all bring this camera? Y'all know she ain't got no sense. Why y'all doing this?
So you know what? I take it back. His mama ain't gonna be somber at all. That's the home. That's the home he going back to. That's the home he going back to.
That's the energy me and Cook are gonna have in the home. Don't bring no young chocolate man around us. How you hanging?
How you
look heavy.
How your dick hanging? How your dick hanging?
It's like, wait, hey, like, talk to me like that in a while.
But he could not get it. He was like, wait, hold up. I know damn well Mammy ain't over here trying to.
Wait, hold up.
trying to get broke off. Hey, because he real talk, he might have been into that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a thing.
Girl popped them teeth out. He's like, okay, we ready to go.
You're like, I'm about to be y'all great grandpappy right now. Right now, it's going down.
Oh my God, we're on that Strange Love show.
Oh man,
what the hell is going on?
Man, we done went on a tangent like a motherfucker after that robbery, though, for real.
How your dick hanging? I can't. What's going on? Like, damn, the interview ain't even started yet.
Man, listen, he like he ain't sat down. She's like, how your dick hanging?
Patting this imaginary sweat, like, nigga, you not sweating? What you doing?
Man, I done closed the wrong window though. I'm supposed to always have a YouTube window open. Damn, Spann, what you doing? But yeah, that's in the news, y'all. That's in the news. The first motherfucking story, boy, we wilding today. Next story here in the news, man. So of course y'all know Donald Trump was out here giving out like pardons and clemencies and shit. Like, you know, like he was giving them out like candy. And so here in Detroit, you know, folks was wondering whether or not he would give one Kwame Kilpatrick, right?
Oh dear Lord.
As it stands right now, there's actually a Michigan State Representative, Sherry Gay-Dagnogo, who went to the White House to actually formally petition Donald Trump personally to get Kwame Kilpatrick out of jail. So we got this report here. This comes out of Channel 7 here in Detroit. I'm gonna play this story for y'all because, yeah, it's a thing. It's kind of a thing. So let's see what they're talking about here on Channel 7. So let's rewind that.
To free Kwame Kilpatrick from prison is going right to President Trump.
State Representative Sherry Gay-Dagnogo is in Washington and plans to hand deliver a letter to the president-in-chief. So we want to know, if President Trump grants Kilpatrick clemency, will it impact the Michigan vote in November?
Go to WXYZ.com/vote and weigh in right now. We will have those results for you tonight at 7 o'clock. Meanwhile.
Okay, so they got the vote showing, like the results of that showing on the screen right now. For those of you who aren't watching live. 77% of Michigan, or the people who voted in this poll, believe that if Kwame Kilpatrick is pardoned by Donald Trump, that it will affect the presidential vote here in Michigan. 77% say yes, 23% say no. We're going to talk a little bit about that too.
7 Action News reporter Anu Prakash is live here in the studio, and she talked to the state rep. Anu?
Well, guys, Representative Gay-Dagnogo was invited by the president and First Lady to attend tonight's celebration at the White House. She says most Detroiters believe Kwame Kilpatrick has been behind bars long enough, and she agrees.
I believe in second chances. I don't believe people should be thrown away for non-violent crimes.
State Representative Sherry Gay-Dagnogo is hoping she'll be able to help convince the president to grant clemency to former Detroit Mayor Kwame Kilpatrick. Gay-Dagnogo is in D.C. for a Black History Month celebration and wrote this letter to the president. She says Kilpatrick's 28-year federal prison sentence for corruption is excessive. This is some of what the letter says.
Kwame Kilpatrick made grave errors in judgment as mayor of the city of Detroit. However, his conviction in comparison to other public officials with similar cases sentenced around the same time highlight stark contrast.
Gay-Dagnogo says she's heard from many Detroiters, pastors, and elected officials who believe Kilpatrick has served enough time. To those who say otherwise, she says this.
I think he was made an example of. And if you look at these similar officials across the country who has been granted pardons or clemency, what's the difference? What is the difference from Kwame Kilpatrick and Governor Blagojevich? This is about pushing for justice for all people and for equity for many, many Black men across the country.
Now, the state rep says that we need to have a broader conversation about criminal justice reform. She says she hasn't talked to Kwame Kilpatrick directly by letter, but she has been in touch with his family. I'm Anu Prakash, 7 Action News. Glenda, back to you.
All right. So, off top, I'm going to ask you, Stephanie, how do you feel about Kwame Kilpatrick and whether or not he should be released from prison?
That nigga never needs to get the fuck out of jail. What are we doing here? Are you kidding me? Are y'all kidding me? Is this woman with this ashy weave really killing me? Okay, bitch. Like, girl. Bitch. Well, let's talk about him. We just want to be not equal, just as bad as terrible white men. Oh, okay. Like, girl.
So
where's the American store? Girl.
So again, so many strange stories happening in the news this week. And I saw this story. And one of the first things that I thought about was Kwame Kilpatrick reacting to this story while locked up. And this is what I came to.
Thank you for being a friend.
Oh, yeah.
Travel down the road, back again.
Hey, so we started from the bottom, now we're here, girl.
It's true.
Oh, yeah. This is my part right here. Ooh, if I did the biggest gift, the biggest. Thank you for being my friend.
Oh,
yeah.
I hate y'all so much. I hate y'all.
Because you got to be a friend to a motherfucker like that, man. Like, for real. I know Kwame is probably like, he's locked up. He thinking like, man, like, it's people outside there fighting a good fight for me, trying to get me on up out of this place. I ain't really supposed to be here. I'm going to say this, though. For those of you who aren't familiar with who Sherry Gay-Dagnogo is, she's a Michigan State Representative. And one of the things that I was thinking about, because they showed in that story that 77% of Michigan voters think that if Donald Trump pardons or gives clemency to Kwame Kilpatrick, that it could affect the presidential vote here in Michigan. So there's a couple things. You know, is she being a friend to Kwame Kilpatrick right now? Or is this a political maneuver? Is this like some political calculations going on here? And the reason why I say that is because she has her own political aspirations as well. She wants to be mayor of the city of Detroit. So she's already announced that she wants to be mayor of the city. Like we've got what's my man's name? Who's the mayor of the city of Detroit now? I'm drawing a fucking blank now. Ain't that a bitch? I don't live in Detroit, so y'all gotta forgive me. But Mike Duggan, that's his name. White guy. He was the first white mayor in the city of Detroit since like the 70s or some shit, before Coleman A. Young was inaugurated or whatever.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was like we was Coleman Young, then what's my man name? It's not important. Fuck it. We had a lot of black mayors. Then we finally got a white one, and they feel like the city is coming back. White people are reinvesting into the city, this, that, and the other. So there's a whole lot of people within the city who was here when like shit was, niggas was on their knuckles, you know what I'm saying? Like shit was bad. You know, Detroit had the largest municipal bankruptcy in the history of the United States. So like shit was bad. And so you got a contingent of people in the city of Detroit who still feel to this day that if Kwame Kilpatrick was not convicted of anything, and if Kwame Kilpatrick could still run for public office, they would still vote for Kwame Kilpatrick. That is, and it's not a, I don't want to say it's a majority population, but I will say it's a vocal minority of people here that really do fuck with Kilpatrick in that way, that feel like Kilpatrick was unfairly targeted because of his connection to hip hop or his connection probably even to the hood. A lot of people felt like they could relate to a Kwame Kilpatrick, right? So I believe that she's playing into that. I believe that she's trying to tap into that level of resentment towards the fact that there's a white mayor in the city of Detroit right now. And that she can use this. Well, like, I've been fighting for y'all's boy, Kwame. I even went to go talk to Donald Trump to get his ass out of jail. I went there personally to do it. Now, the flip side of that is we saw that poll that says 77% of the people who voted in that poll believe that if he gave Kwame Kilpatrick clemency, that it could affect their presidential vote. I'm gonna tell y'all this right now. It's a whole lot of white folks who would be pissed if Donald Trump gave him clemency. I've already
pretty much.
Now I've seen. Here's the thing. Is I kind of think it's a little bit of a wash though when they start talking about political advantages, right? Because you got a contingency of people. I've already seen some black people talk about, well, if Trump grants clemency to Kwame Kilpatrick, they will vote for Donald Trump based on that alone. I've seen it. I've seen it with my own two eyes. I've seen it. Niggas is out here saying like, if Trump pardons Kwame Kilpatrick, then they will vote for him. I've also seen the flip side, the base of Donald Trump say, if he does that, they not fucking with him no more.
Oh.
So, when they say 77% of the people say like whether or not it will affect the political aspirations of Donald Trump here in the state of Michigan, yeah, I believe that to be true too. I believe, yeah, if he does it, then yes, it will most definitely have an effect. Because you're going to have a few niggas, because I really feel like it's just a few niggas. You gonna have a few niggas who like that's their issue. Like, yo, he get Kwame out this shit. Yeah, I gotta fuck with him. Make America great again for me, nigga. But then you also got them white people that don't fuck with Donald Trump. I mean, that don't fuck with Kwame Kilpatrick. Really didn't fuck with the city of Detroit. That'll say, well, what the fuck are you doing there, man? God damn it, you got 28 years. You're supposed to do them fucking 28 years. What the fuck are you doing there, buddy? Especially Macomb County. Macomb County really doesn't fuck with Detroit like that. And Macomb County is Trump country. I'll just tell y'all that right now. But yeah, man, I saw this and I'm like, man, she really went this far, like to go to see Donald Trump personally at the White House to petition to get Kwame Kilpatrick released from jail. And the first thing I thought about was, yeah, she wants to be mayor. And and this is one of the things that she can point to say, like, I've been fighting. She could say prison reform or whatever else, but more importantly, the symbol for a lot of niggas when they talk about like people being mistreated by the criminal justice system, even though we don't believe that Kwame Kilpatrick was mistreated by the criminal justice system, especially considering all of the shit that this nigga was convicted of. Yeah, she can use this to like try to appeal to those people and maybe try to get Mike Duggan to fuck about the paint. So, yeah.
She's like, goodbye, Michael. I said good day.
Man, it's a whole, you know, that's the other weird part about this too, right? Because it was a majority black city that elected that man. Detroit is still a majority black city. So, like, there's a lot of people who just simply resent the fact that there's a white dude who's in charge of the city of Detroit. And then there's also the contingent of people who feel like they're losing the city because of so many different things happening, where there's gentrification in certain areas, where the downtown areas are seeing some revitalization. Me and my wife went to this place, I want to say last weekend. We went to a little bar in Midtown called Hopcat. And it's a decent enough spot. A lot of craft beers. You know, I'm a beer drinker, so I went to like kind of check out the beer or whatnot. She said they were on the Food Network. Like, oh, okay, cool.
You're like, okay.
Yeah, all right, cool. You know, they used to have like what they call it crack fries, but they renamed the crack fries into cosmic fries because, you know, crack, Detroit, you know, that whole thing. Oh. But the vibe that I got in that place was, yeah, this is a place where white hipsters go to say that they hang out in the city of Detroit. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, but good food, you know what I'm saying? And the beers were great. Like, I would go back, but I was just like, you give me the hipster vibes, you know? And so there's a lot of people who are resentful of that kind of shit, though, who've been in Detroit when they're like, yo, the lights wasn't on and the city couldn't afford to keep street lights on and potholes all over the place. And, you know, mail wouldn't even be delivered in certain pockets of the city where you might have one house that people actually live in on a block. You know, that kind of shit. So there's a lot of people that are resentful of that. And so I get it, but like to play into that politically the way that she's doing it right now, I just kind of think that's kind of underhanded. So, yeah, that's in the news. Now we got another story in the news, man. Now this is kind of wild. I don't think anybody ever in their life, especially if you came up in the 80s, saw this coming. McGruff the Crime Dog just got 16 years in motherfucking prison, y'all. McGruff the motherfucking crime dog, y'all.
You know, when McGruff and I would go out, he never acted like that in front of me. He never said, hey, Stephanie, go get that girl. Not McGruff. I just can't see him doing this.
Stephanie, take a bite out of that brownie.
Like, what?
McGruff the crime dog, man.
He a fictional character? What we doing?
McGruff the crime dog out here criming, man. McGruff the Crime Dog crime, and we're going to read this story here. This comes out of CBSNews.com. John Morales, the actor who played the crime-fighting cartoon character McGruff the Crime Dog, was sentenced to 16 years in prison, stemming from a 2011 arrest in which police wait, he been in jail since 2011?
2011?
Wait a minute, hold up, god damn! Like, wait, let's do this shit right. God damn. Let's see. Okay, so they say they seized 1,000 marijuana plants, 27 weapons, including a grenade launcher, and 9,000 rounds of ammunition in his home. You know what, man?
Is the Z-Pac coming and we don't know?
Shit. It says the sentence was handed down Thursday, just 3 days after the 41-year-old former actor pleaded guilty. Morales insisted during the sentencing hearing that he was nonviolent, but U.S. District Judge Vanessa Gilmore said, "Everything I read about you makes you seem like a scary person."
He has a grenade. I'm nonviolent with my grenade launcher.
Oh, man. McGruff the Crime Dog is a cartoon bloodhound that was created by global advertising companies Saatchi and Saatchi and the Ad Council in the early 1980s for the National Crime Prevention Council. The cartoon figure was used by U.S. police in spreading crime awareness and is perhaps best known for the tagline, "Take a bite out of crime." Now, I'm sure at some point, right? I'm sure at some point that McGruff the Crime Dog is going to have to speak to some kids, because every now and again they do scared straight, right? They do scared straight. And sometimes, the kids don't necessarily internalize the message until they're getting it from somebody they respect, right? And the kids respect McGruff Crime Dog.
These kids even know who he is.
Hey, stop stepping on the joke.
Imagine this big ass dog coming out of a Moonwalker movie coming to your school. She's like, what the fuck is going on here?
All I know is, as a kid, McGruff the Crime Dog used to roll around in my neighborhood, you know what I'm saying? And we liked McGruff. McGruff was cool, you know what I'm saying? McGruff would let us know when we was on the right path and shit. But what we didn't know that McGruff had is like a secret life. And it's part of the reason why McGruff told us shit like this when we was little.
Hey, Goldie. How you doing, Keith?
I think he was also white. So.
Can I get in, Goldie?
So he probably was like, you niggas need to stay in line. Me, on the other hand, am getting ready for the Z-Pac. And I'm going to get high while I do it.
You like that, huh?
That's bullshit. I've never heard of this. You niggers stay in line. Me, on the other hand, I'm going to put my head in this dog head and I'm going to get ready. Good to hell luck.
Okay.
Whew, the ghetto.
Yeah.
Hey, Goldie.
How you doing, Keith?
So much fun. Can I get in, Goldie?
I'm sorry.
Come on.
I'm sorry.
Gotta do what you gotta do. Get out inside. You like that, huh?
He be marching at. He need to have the Baja Man who let the dogs out. That be his intro song when he comes speak.
You did it again.
He be like, I intro. He's like, what the fuck is going on?
Oh shit. You did it again. I want to be like you, Goldie. I don't ever want to hear you say you want to be like me. You could be a doctor, you could be a lawyer, but I don't ever want to hear you say you want to be like me.
Oh, them poor.
Oh man, McGruff the Crime Dog out here criming. That's a goddamn shame, man. Out here criming. McGruff the Crime Dog.
Where was his daddy?
That nigga was taking a bite out of crime, all right. He was biting brownies, nigga. He's eating all the weed, all the guns. This nigga had a goddamn grenade launcher. Now, I'm going to tell y'all this right now, man. Your man Spann is pro-Second Amendment. I like guns. I use guns. I fire guns off on recreational purposes. I use guns for personal protection. Even your man Spann ain't out here like, man, you know what? A grenade launcher would be all right. Like, I could use one of those. Like,
I want y'all to write me a whole, like, this you teach just like school. I need you to write me a report on why you need a grenade launcher in your house. In your whole house.
Well, see, I ain't got one of those.
I think like you need to write a report. Like, I'm gonna give you this grenade launcher.
I
but
ain't
you
got
gotta
one
write
of
a
those.
report.
I just got some stuff that'll air a few niggas out. But I'm just saying, like, you can't be out here criming and you McGruff the Crime Dog. I almost should have named this episode McGruff the Crime Dog, out here criming.
Out here criming.
Out here criming. But yo, man, this has been the longest in the news segment ever.
Never meet your heroes. They be out here criming.
Out here criming, man. But that's been the news, y'all. Jesus Christ.
Oh my God. Oh, baby. They ain't got no heroes.
Oh, man.
Have we checked on the Mr. Yuck sticker? I mean, is he still able? Is he available? Because I don't know. You got to check his background, check his Twitter feed. Find if he's got any niggers flying around.
Now that I'm thinking about it, they ain't used McGruff in a long motherfucking time. I think he was a hero for our time, and I'm hurt.
Like, I believed in you. We were rooting for you. We were all rooting for you.
Real talk. Like, I'm hurt. Like, man, ain't this a bitch?
Had to watch all them cartoons.
Nigga, like, he had, like, see, here's another thing, too. McGruff was special. McGruff didn't get 30-second ads. McGruff had whole ass minute ads. McGruff was that dude. In the 80s, nigga, a whole minute?
Saturday morning cartoons, you saw a McGruff commercial.
Man, if you go look at McGruff right now, you ain't gonna see a video of McGruff, a cartoon or a message less than a minute. Some of them motherfuckers is 5 to 15 minutes. McGruff was the dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he kind of like, you know, right before you hit the DARE program and shit, and you find out, you know, you thought the police was your friend, and then you find out later that summer that they weren't. They really wasn't. But for real.
Yeah, really your friend. Yeah, no.
That's how I found out. Shit. Well, I never forget. Eighth grade. We, you know, DARE program that year. Get out of school. 8th grade. Outside playing basketball on the street. Drug raid happened on my block. Police get out of that van. Put a 12 gauge to my head. Put a 12 gauge to my head. Tell me, see if you can outrun this slug.
Oh,
was 12 years old. So yeah, you find out young, they ain't your friend. You know what I'm saying?
My God.
They ain't your friend. But it's time for us to get into some more shenanigans. We're going into Blue Blazers.
What in blue blazes is going on out here? Did this nigga just say blue blazes?
All right, now y'all know here on the Spann Portal podcast, we don't have a whole lot of respect for Trump supporters. We think they some dumb motherfuckers. Real talk. We ain't gonna hold you up. If you voted for Trump, if you support Trump, you're a racist, dumb sack of shit. That's just kind of how we roll here at the Spann Portal podcast. And usually everybody who's on the Spann Portal podcast kind of agree with your boy. You know, very seldom do you have somebody coming on the Spann Portal podcast and be like, hey, you know what? You kind of hard on them Trump supporters.
No, you're not hard enough.
Yeah, because they know. Because they know, right? So, this story hit us on the news this week. It's Blue Blazers this week. But I'm just saying, Garth Brooks did a concert here in Detroit. Right? Now, for those of you who are familiar with Detroit, or with the Detroit Lions more specifically, y'all know that we used to have all-time great running back here. Matter of fact, he's the reason why I'm a Detroit Lions fan to this day. They ain't had a good running back since this motherfucker. Barry Sanders, right? Got drafted, I want to say he got drafted in 1989, something like that. Went to Oklahoma State University. Just so happens that Garth Brooks went to Oklahoma State University too. So when he came to Detroit to do a concert for these motherfuckers who don't really fuck with Detroit like that, you know, you got some Livingston County and some Washtenaw County and some Macomb County coming into Wayne County to come fuck with Detroit for this Garth Brooks concert. They saw him in a Barry Sanders jersey, right? Now, I'm going to give the Trump supporters here a little bit of leeway. Because I kind of feel like They know who Barry Sanders is. They fuck with the Detroit Lions to a large degree, or to some degree. They might even be season ticket holders. They may even come to Ford Field and watch those football games every Sunday. I ain't no season ticket holder. I ain't been to a Lions game a day in my life. But Trump supporters around the country, not so much. They actually thought that Garth Brooks did that concert, had the Sanders number 20 jersey on, thinking that Garth Brooks was endorsing presidential candidate Bernie Sanders for president of the goddamn United States. So we're going to read this story here. This comes out of BuzzFeed.com. It says last weekend, Garth Brooks performed in Detroit. He posted a picture wearing a jersey for football player Barry Sanders. For clarification, this is the Barry Sanders. He is a Hall of Fame running back who played for the Detroit Lions. This is Bernie Sanders. He is running to be the Democratic nominee for president. Some people in Garth Brooks' Instagram comments went straight up God warrior on Garth because they thought he was endorsing Bernie Sanders. Here are some of the comments. Mary Minfinney wrote, "No thanks, Trump 2020. Let's see. Dre Sefford 50 wrote, really, you just lost a lot of fans. I thought you were an American. What? Okay. Scott Haviland wrote, so disappointed. I always loved that your brand here to clear a polarizing political statement. Okay, that doesn't make sense. Let's see. What the fuck? Okay, so some dude named Noshi something 96 wrote, I will never spend a cent on anything that has to do with you. I will turn the station on if one of your songs come on. DJ Doc Jim wrote that I won't play Garth Brooks on American Veterans Radio any longer. Such a betrayal. Smoke 5 2020. If this is for Bernie Sanders, I'm done with you. I thought you were a true American that loves our country. And on and on and on. There's like so many more comments, right?
Ooh, Chile.
Yeah.
You're such dumbasses.
So when I saw that, of course, I'm just like, I think they stupid anyway. But more importantly, I just kind of laughed at it. Like, just kind of laugh. You know what I'm saying? Because I already told y'all, man, I don't think highly of these people anyway. And here's the rub too, right? Here's the rub. So like on Facebook, they posted this story because a lot of local news stories posted this story. Stations, posted this story. Mm-hmm. And of course, you go through the comments, and a lot of the Trump supporters in the comments like, those profiles aren't real. This is some more fake news from the fake liberal media. It's all a part of the agenda. Though I looked at those profiles, I searched for them. I couldn't find them. They were fake.
Or private.
Here's the thing. Here's another thing too. I want folks to understand, especially like some of you older people who use social media but aren't necessarily familiar with all of the tools that are available on social media. Yo, just because you look a motherfucker up or you look their name up doesn't mean that they shit gonna show up when you looking for them. Some people only show up to the people that they want to show up for.
Pretty much. Because you can tailor that.
Yeah,
like,
you can tailor that. Like, you don't, just because you, like, all right, put their name in, nothing comes up. I'll be damned. I told you they were fake, Susan. I told you this was bullshit. This is bullshit against Donald Trump. He's trying to make America great again, and they're trying to tear down our fucking dear leader. This is bullshit, Sharon. So.
Helen has got her panties in a bunch. I tell you, sitting on the Facebook looking like, how dare y'all not to support our president? How dare y'all support Bernie Sanders? Meanwhile, telling us that if we talk about white men and Trump, and it's like, oh no, that's wrong. Y'all probably all did it. Oh, not all white men voted for Trump. And here go this white man with a Sanders jersey on. Like, excuse me, you belong to us.
It's crazy.
How interesting.
It is crazy. Like, they were really so upset. Like my man said, like, I'm never playing your shit on our radio station again. Like, had no clue who the fuck Barry Sanders was. And I get to a certain degree, right? Folks not necessarily understanding who Barry Sanders is. But to jump to that off rip, like, hey,
I'm patriotic to be with Bernie Sanders. he's an old white guy like him. Like, no? I thought we were voting for old white men. No? Oh.
I just thought it was
interesting.
Funny. I just thought it was funny, man. Like, thank you so much, Trump supporters, for proving time and again that y'all are some stupid, dumb motherfuckers. I really appreciate y'all.
So stupid.
Yeah, I can't thank y'all enough for proving the point for me.
This is so good.
Thank you.
Like, this is so good.
Thank you so much. Now, another story here, Blue Blazes. Stephanie, do you like dudes who wear cologne?
I do, but I like dudes that wash their ass and then put on the cologne.
Okay. I should have said that. I thought that would have been going without saying. But I get that. I get that. And I'm thinking about making this a poll on today's show, right? So I came across this story here on local news or whatever, and they were talking about our millennials killing cologne, eau de toilette, and aftershave, right? And it made me think, right? Because I got like a box of like a whole bunch of different kinds of cologne. I got some Givenchy Play. I got some old ass Issey Miyake. I got some Sean John Unforgivable. My wife loves that. That's the only one she actually likes. Like out of all of the flavor, all of the colognes that I got, that's the only one she liked. I got some Kenneth Cole Black. I got my aunt and gave me some shit from her Mary Kay. You know what I'm saying? Like I got a whole bunch of shit, right?
They got some good sense with Mary Kay. I will say that.
They do. But when you have an aunt that sells Mary Kay, like you are not going home and not getting the Mary Kay is what I'm trying to tell you.
Pretty much. Oh, boy, come on over here. Hold on. Let me get in the closet.
Oh, so you got the Kenneth Cole Black? Let me tell you, I got something for you. I got some Velocity for you. Velocity is your shit. I'm gonna tell you right now. That's what I'm gonna get you. As a matter of fact, that's your Christmas present. Don't say I never gave you nothing. But
under the tree. Be surprised.
But I was thinking about this because like I got this box of all these different colognes and stuff, and I very seldom use them anymore. Like I don't hardly wear them. First of all, I'm at work all the time, so I'm not getting like fancy for these niggas. And secondly, my wife only likes one of the damn scents that I got. Like that was the other thing. I kind of was pissed off when she don't like the other shit because I spent all this money on this other stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
and so I'm like, but I had a lot of these like before we got married and stuff. I don't even know if they smell good anymore. You know, I don't know what the life expectancy is of a cologne. But like she likes the Sean John Unforgivable. She don't like shit else I got. And then like I hardly go places where I feel like I need to wear cologne. Right? So then I kind of asked folks on social media whether or not they were wearing cologne. A lot of fellas was telling me that they really weren't. They wear like body washes. They like, you know, the fabric softener in their clothes. You know, some of them are into the body oils and whatnot, you know, but they weren't wearing the cologne or the aftershave or whatever. So this story here comes out of clickondetroit.com. It says Jason Carr. So in the course of the newsroom banner, it was noticed that a veteran colleague who was decidedly not a millennial was sporting a top of the morning cologne. Excuse me. A cologne scented aura, perhaps aftershave. Definitely an old man's classic aroma in the Brute Old Spice skin bracer assortment one might find in abundance at your finer country clubs, or in Brian Fantana's smell good cabinet next to Sex Panther by Odeon. He would not tell us the label and has no plans to. Much good laughter ensued. Anyways, as these topics go, a conversation was soon started amongst myself, a Reformed Polo Obsession Hugo enthusiast, and Local 4's motley crew of younger bros, and it was centered on one key question: are millennials killing cologne? One by one, the fellas, all 30-ish and younger, allowed casually that they never took to wearing cologne and still don't. Sure, there are some admissions of having gone through an Axe body spray phase in their teens, but I may as well have asked them if they wear perfume. Also affirmed no. When I was a kid, it was practically a rite of passage like sprouting whiskers. We watched our dads and grandfathers splash or vigorously slap on veritable palms of English leather or Pierre Cardin, usually after a close shave. My father went for the Pierre Cardin, which, combined with always burning Marlboro Reds in his auto body work, made for a distinct aromatic blend in the close confines of his never-ending series of Corvettes. Add some exhaust fumes from the car side pipes, and he could have bottled his own scent and called it Blue Collar Rick or Ode to Richard. Now there are outliers. Our morning show technical director proudly wears the millennial uniform of hat, plaid shirt, skinny jeans, boots, and a belt loop keychain, and a carefully curated beard. He also confidently informs us he wears sexy for him from Victoria's Secret. At least I think that's what he called it. It's just not noticeable like, say, Drakkar used to be at its peak.
Ooh, Drakkar Noir.
Yeah. Funny thing is, millennial men seem so enamored of ye old days, vinyl, mustaches, vintage, anything. You would think any potion that made by Menon would be right in their wheelhouse. Maybe it's that, like my older colleague who wears his mystery cologne, it just has to go. It just has to go away as a thing first. Only then will the air again be aligned with pipe smoke, black beer's delight, and the smell of machismo. But it won't be millennial men; they'll be too old. So, do you think cologne is like going away?
These cheap ass niggas, yeah, they cheap. They too. I'm sorry. They don't even want to buy meals. They don't want to wash their balls. They don't want to wash their ass. So no, we don't want the cologne covering up y'all funk, and they ain't going to do it. I'm sorry. I think they don't, because I am somebody who loves a good smelling man, and it will catch my nose. I'm like, ooh, that smells good on you. And it's amazing when I tell a man that, not a man I'm interested in, just a man, I'm like, ooh, you smell good. They're like, really?
Yeah.
I do? I'm like, sir, I'm not coming to suck your dick. I'm just telling you that. It's like, you can't give me a compliment. They'll be like, oh shit, my dick about to get real. No, sir, you smell nice. Okay, goodbye. Have a good day. I'm going to drink my coffee. Bye. Bye. I guess you're Yaya, and then I am flirting with you. Sorry. Or if you're Lakeith Stanfield, I am flirting with you.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that though, like, because even now when I go to the mall, of course, like they got like the perfume and the the cologne places or whatever, and there's always somebody standing right out in the hallway and they want to give you a sample of some shit, and I'm just like, all right, man, but when I was a single dude, I would always go in there and like go get me some shit. When I was single, like that would be my thing, but now it's like, well, she only likes Forgivable, and I ain't even ran out of that shit yet, like.
Spritz.
I mean, then there's the other thing too, right? So I could think that something smells good. Doesn't necessarily mean it's gonna smell good on me. There's that, and then there's the thing that, like, you got your own personal scent. Like, you may think it smells good on you, somebody else may not, right? And I think women have a stronger sense of smell than men a lot of times. I think so. I'm not sure of my science on this one, but I think so. Cause she'd be like, I can just come home from work, be like, can I get a kiss, baby? Like, Go wash your ass. You wanna go? No. You smell like gas, nigga.
Shower first?
Like, you smell like gas, nigga. Get out of there. I'm like, damn, for real? I ain't even been in.
Hey, baby, give me a kiss. Why don't you kiss the shower first? It's the first love right now.
Go. The bathtub awaits. Yeah.
Bathtub awaits.
That's in Blue Blazers. Now, the other story here we got in Blue Blazers, man. Snoop Dogg finally went on the Red Table Talk, and your face just dropped. Like, you instantly got pissed, man. Like, God damn.
I'm sorry.
Your face. Hey, I wish for those of you who are not watching the show live, if you could have seen how quickly it went from a smile to a this motherfucker here look.
I'm so damn expressive.
I'm gonna say this.
Damn. I can't even.
Oh my god, that shit happened like that. Like,
sorry, I have no poker face when it comes to this.
I thought I did it. You know what I'm saying?
I have no poker face.
I thought I did it, but so yeah, Snoop, he went on to the Red Table Talk, and before I play any of this, Stephanie, what were your initial thoughts when you heard that Snoop would be going on the Red Table Talk after the whole Gayle King calling her a dog head bitch, this and other? What were your thoughts on that?
Oh, it's going to be a total shit show. It's going to be a shit show, and it's not going to be what people. When it comes to this shit, it's never going to be what people want. Mm-hmm. it's never going to be what people want. But I knew what was going to happen. I'm like, yeah, I already saw the 10 episodes, so I know what's going to happen. It's going to be a shit show. But I didn't know what kind of shit show it was going to be. So,
yeah. So, my initial thoughts, right? Because I put it out when I first saw that he was going to go on there. One of the things I thought about was like, okay, this is part of the public relations, aspect of it. Like, get back in front of black people, especially black women, who some of them were like mostly upset with him. I don't think white people gave a fuck about what the hell was going on with Snoop. I think to a large degree, black men didn't give a fuck about Snoop or apology or anything else. There was I don't even think. Well, shit, not even think. I think even black women, to a certain degree, there was a split there. Concerning,
it was more heavy on Team Snoop, which was very odd.
Yeah, I think even black women, there was a split there concerning like the outrage concerning what he said to Gayle and how they took it. Mm-hmm. And so he went on the Red Table Talk, and something similar to like when T.I. went on Red Table Talk. I know, like me and our homie Brandon, we had a conversation about that afterwards, and we talked about that here on the show. I didn't think that by Snoop going on this show that you was gonna get no dragon. I didn't see that happening whatsoever. I thought that Snoop going there was going there to find a place where somebody would at least attempt to listen to what it was he was saying or how his point of view may have been. It was kind of a safe space, so to speak, for him to kind of get his point of view across. I know that they invited Gayle King to come on to the show or whatever, but I think Gayle King, to a large degree, is probably exhausted of the entire thing and doesn't want anything else to do with this shit. Truthfully speaking, and your man's man is too. But he went on there, and of course, people were upset with what they feel like were kid gloves when it came to Snoop being on this show. So I'm gonna play a portion of this here, and let's see what they're talking about. As a matter of fact, let me pull this up so y'all can watch here too, because I can't be over here watching this shit by myself. You know what I'm saying? Get it together, Spann. He ain't shared the screen or nothing, nigga. What you doing? All right, let's get some sound on that.
Let me, him and me, but our relationship was based off of just being fans. I'm a fan of his. He was a fan of mine. I loved everything he did on the court, off the court. I loved him as a father to his daughters and how he was transforming into that man that we all want to be.
Yeah.
We all want to be that man that's loved by the kids and their wife, and just the stand-up guy. Like, to get to that point in life is hard.
Yes.
It's hard.
When this whole Gayle thing came up, I do feel like there was a lot of anger.
Right. Built up.
Like black men were furious. I have not seen that as a collective in a long time.
I see it all the time.
Well, of course you
I'm a
would.
black man.
Yeah, exactly right.
We just came from behind closed doors on that one. And it's a collective feeling of, you guys are targeting us. You guys are coming after us. And you guys are us.
A lot of black men felt attacked,
Right.
you know,
And betrayed.
and that we as black people on both sides, you know, how the wounds that we'd have to deal with as a community, how I think we expect each other to have a bit more sensitivity.
Say that.
You know what I mean?
Especially for our superheroes.
Yeah.
When someone becomes a superhero, we don't have a lot of them. But when someone becomes a superhero, it's our job to protect that superhero. So that's why we have that in our heart. Why y'all attacking us?
Right. Okay.
After we make it.
Right.
Okay. So here's something that I found real weird in this line of discussion, right? So in this moment, they're talking about whether or not let me pull it back up there so y'all can see this too. But in this moment, they're talking about whether or not they're talking about black men as a collective feeling attacked by Gayle King's questioning of Kobe Bryant. Right? Feeling like they were attacked. And then, why y'all coming at us? And Snoop said that when he cussed her out initially. Why y'all coming at us? Right? Even though the examples that they point out would be someone like a R. Kelly, someone like a Bill Cosby. I think generally speaking, like, you can kind of individualize who the fuck they talking about. When I think of a R. Kelly or a Bill Cosby, them motherfuckers don't represent me.
Correct.
So I'm not taking her questioning Kobe Bryant's legacy or if there is any complications with that, questioning that when she's asking Gayle King as a woman, how she reconciles with that. That's another thing too. Everybody kept saying that she could have asked these questions of Kobe. Like how many questions could Kobe answer as a woman concerning how he feels about his relationship with sexual assault?
Pretty much.
How could Kobe answer those questions, right? But he's saying that, like, yo, we as black men felt attacked. Why y'all attacking us? And then at the same time, saying that when I call her a funky dog haired bitch, that it wasn't aimed at black women as a whole. I was upset with her. And so, like, these questions, I've been seeing these questions posed on social media quite a bit, where they kept saying, like, well, even Jada, people are upset that Jada said that she felt a certain way about the way he came at Gayle King when he said that. Like, she said, I felt like Snoop took his power away from me. And she like, not Snoop. And I'm thinking to myself, when she said, not Snoop, I'm like, shit, why not Snoop? But like, you want us to generalize, like they want the generalization where black men as a whole felt like this. Like a lot of us didn't, but black men as a whole felt a certain way about this particular action towards Kobe Bryant. And yet we expected that black women, or some black women, because it wasn't all black women, but that some black women wouldn't take offense to him being so vociferous in his attack against Gayle King concerning that question.
You know, I'm so glad you brought that point up, because Snoop did say as black men plural, meaning all of us. But when it came to the clip of Jada saying that it felt like you were attacking me and attacking Gammy and attacking Willow, I saw a lot of black women doing this. Like, no, you don't speak for us. Like, so it was okay for Snoop to speak for black men, but it's not okay for Jada to speak for black women. That's quite interesting. Funny to your girl.
I just thought it was weird. You know, this is like, as the story just keep playing out, like, again, we alluded to this earlier. All of the different threads that people were pulling out of this story and making things about stuff that wasn't even like an issue. Like, we talked about the messiness of rolling out and, you know, them putting out the story. They're like, well, yeah, but Snoop acknowledges Kobe's parents after his memorial service. It's like, okay, like,
okay.
At a certain point, it's like, y'all just milking this shit for all it's worth. I think some people already knew that Kobe and his parents weren't necessarily in a good place. I think that they already had a private funeral service for Kobe's family. They may have spoken there. I wonder if y'all have even asked those people if they even wanted to speak. So you got a whole lot of people who are upset. Like even Lisa Leslie, right? People are upset for Lisa Leslie having to answer those questions. The only person to even speak up about whether or not Lisa Leslie could have been upset about that issue was Gayle King. And Gayle King said she didn't seem to have an issue with it. But everybody else is mad for her. Now everybody else is mad for the Bryant family on what they perceive to be a slight. Never once thinking, like, well, damn, do these people even want to talk? It's just kind of weird, man. Like watching, like, I've been saying this shit for the last month. Watching these waves kind of come across the social media spectrum, man, is wild to just like sit back and just like witness the shit. And some of y'all are so engrossed in it, you don't necessarily know that that's what you're doing. And I've been a victim of like being engrossed in some shit. I know I can hang on to some shit and like a pit bull and just be on it and be on it and be on it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it is, right? But when sometimes I think that we really do have to like kind of pull back and just acknowledge like even those people who feel like maybe that was an issue within the family, this, that, and the other, and she mad that like, you know, like his parents may be mad at his mother-in-law got a $4 million house and he was putting them in a $500,000 house. Like why they get short shrift, this and the other. I'm like, truthfully speaking, we don't know these people.
And it's not our business.
It ain't our business. It ain't our business.
I don't care. It's like, worse it was the week before all this thing happened, Snoop and Gayle. It was like, no, Vanessa's fine. She got money and we shouldn't be wasting our time on because she not black. Then it becomes, we got to protect Vanessa. And then the next week after that, it's like, why the fuck didn't Vanessa fix this relationship? I'm like, but you just said we should leave her alone.
Again.
Which one is it?
Again, at a certain point, and I've said this repeatedly too, stopped being about Kobe a long time ago. A lot of times people are projecting their own issues into that particular situation. And that becomes the thing that they are arguing about. A lot of people are dealing with their own personal shit. And if they can project that onto what people are really talking about, because that's the other thing too. Some of this is nobody's talking about my shit. But my shit looks similar to that shit going on over there. Now, if I can get in my shit and like to get people to talk about that shit over there, then maybe I can get them to talk about my shit.
Right.
And I think that's what a lot of this is. Like, we got so many people who are dealing with things and they feel like they're being ignored. And they'll present their issues in a situation where, okay, here's a public figure who's dealing with something also, something similar to what I'm dealing with. Maybe, just maybe, I can get somebody to talk with me about this shit that I'm dealing with. Although I'm using these folks as avatars a little bit, I can get them to talk about what I want to talk about. And I think a lot of that is going on right now.
Oh, absolutely. They're using Snoop like, oh, Snoop called the arms. He said we should be like that. I'm like, okay. Y'all, you know what? I will give y'all that if y'all kept that same fucking energy for anybody who said anything about Snoop. Because I'm sorry about Kobe. Because quite frankly, y'all didn't come after Ari Shaffir when he called him a rapist, and I'm glad he's dead. Y'all didn't even breathe near his direction. You didn't say anything about Abigail Disney. You didn't say about anybody else who called him a rapist. Y'all don't keep that same energy. So until you are like threatening everybody who say something about Kobe, it's like you can miss me with that bullshit because y'all fake as fuck. It's like you're being so fake. And it's the contrast that I see, the example I see is how people reacted to Kanye and how y'all reacted to Chrisette. Chrisette is canceled for singing at the inauguration. Kanye has broke bread with Donald Trump, and it's still people like, well, I mean, you know, I'm gonna go to Sunday service. I mean, I don't like that he did that, but y'all canceled Chrisette for singing.
Man, and they buying them ugly ass shoes too.
Right, all that ugly ass shit. Y'all still supporting his ass.
Yeah, they buy them ugly ass shoes. I'm just saying, I ain't a fan of the Yeezys.
It's like they are ugly as fuck, and somebody still but y'all don't want to talk about the misogynoir. You don't want to talk about it because you had words for Gayle, but y'all don't have nothing for people who are literally calling this man a rapist. Yeah. And I'm glad he's dead. Yeah. Y'all have said nothing. Oh no. I'm not going to give it air, but you're going to come after Gayle? Really? For asking a question that was actually a question that was out. She didn't make this up out of her ass. I heard the phrase complicated legacy. They said it when he won an Oscar 2 years ago. Anytime that nigga breathed, they brought that shit up from 2003. Why y'all acting like this the first time? And they're like, y'all had all this time. I'm sorry. Did y'all know he was dying this year? Did you know? Because if you did know the day and the hour that he was going to pass, you should have told his ass not to get on that fucking helicopter.
That's the thing. And that's been Blue Blazers, y'all.
What in blue blazes is going on out here?
Snip going to the goddamn principal's office. But y'all, I don't know why they thought this was going to be a call out. It's never call out with Jada. It's always call in. Yeah. Always.
It's crazy. Like I said, I don't know why. I understand, like, there's some, with the Red Table Talk, I understand that there are people who, they really do want these motherfuckers to be held accountable. And I understand that. And I don't think that that's a place where they're going to go to get held accountable, so to speak.
Right.
the other part about it is, I kind of feel like, they're not going to be held accountable, and the people with whom want to, like, they're not talking to you, right? Like the people with whom, like, that really want to get in the grills of a Snoop Dogg or a T.I. when they out here fucking up, they're not going to come to you to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just not what's going to happen. And then the other part about it is, and I hear y'all, like, I saw, shout out to Anissa, because Anissa was like, I'm just tired of black women having to do the emotional labor of, like, helping fix these niggas' egos and, help, repair these motherfuckers' reputations and shit. Like, and I get it. I hear y'all, and I get it. But at this point, like, I guess, like, 2 is a trend, because you had T.I., now you got Snoop. Well, shit. Jordan, what's the girl name? The little
Jordan.
Yeah, the black girl that hang with the car. I don't know all them people, but like it becomes a trend. Like, this is where people go to kind of do the rehabilitation of their image when there's a public fuck up, and so like, truthfully, it's kind of like what they allow their platform to become. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you gotta, when you hear people are going to go on the Red Table Talk, understand that's what's going to happen, so that when you watch it, you're not upset because you know what it is already. You know?
You already know. It was like, so when people, and it kind of bothered me. So mini rant here. It bothered me to listen so many black women say Jada don't speak for us and no, this is a reach, and he was only talking to Gail. However, when T.I.'s black ass walked up his vocabularious ass to that Red Table Talk, y'all wanted her to hold his feet to the fire on behalf of all little black girls. So it can't be what you want because you don't agree with what he said. You agree with what Snoop said, so you're like, oh no, he was only talking to Gail. No, he actually wasn't. It's like, no, we're talking misogynoir, and if you're not ready to have the conversation, which, by the way, Jada is not equipped to have, because you got to be a little bit more stern, and she's not ready to be stern. I don't disagree with that. It's kind of like, call in is fine, but it's like, you got to talk about the whole conversation, and she didn't, because there's a lot of stuff you left out, and it's like, yeah, so let me tell you why this is a problem.
Yeah.
So it's like, no, it can't be like, oh, no, it's just Gail when y'all don't agree with Gail.
Yeah.
It can't be that.
Yeah. So that's the thing. And that's been Blue Blazes. It's time for us to do one more thing. Well, we got a couple more things to do. We got this here coming up, though. It's been a while. In the black community, pseudo-consciously based offenses are considered especially heinous. In the Yonk right, the dedicated misogynists who perpetuate frauds are members of an elite squad known as a Special Hotep Unit. These are their stories. All right. Special Hotep time here at the Spann Report podcast, man.
One of my favorite segments.
You know what, man? I'm going to just rename this motherfucker the Umar Johnson Hour. Like, because it's been mostly him lately, man. Tariq Nasheed got me blocked and shit, man. So yeah.
What?
Yeah, Tariq Nasheed blocked me a while ago, man. He don't know I got like 3 other accounts that I could use on Twitter, but I don't really be wanting to follow that nigga like that. But go cook and tag me in, coach. Hey, check this out. We coming up on the limit on this crowdcast. Let me go up to the next session so that we can get everything kicked off, and we don't get kicked. You know, we can get everything kicked off without getting kicked off. If you know what I'm talking. So let me go ahead and do this here. Get the second session up. I'm gonna call y'all back into the audience in a second here. All right, now for those of y'all who were in the chat room, it was a whole lot of shit going on. We was moving motherfuckers around and everything. We even picked up a new guest on the damn live feed and everything. But for those of y'all who are listening later, you be like, oh damn, this shit just happened and the third motherfucker just popped up. So yo, we got the homie Cook from the from the Highly Inappropriate Podcast. Say what's up to the people, fam.
What's up?
We can't have.
How y'all doing?
I'm gonna tell y'all right now. We can't have like a Special Hotep Unit story pop off, and we're talking Umar Johnson, and Cook not be a part of it.
Child,
it's kind of a thing. It's kind of.
Let me tell you something. I hopped in the DMs this morning, like
nigga.
Nigga. Like, we have to follow up on these Questlove hips. Because he has Questlove hips. So I forgot I said that the last time we recorded. Because when we did, he was walking around the school. We did the whole recap of the school, and we looked at, and we noticed, like, this is an abandoned building, and like it was a lot of things. And then it's funny because it seems. Well, I was talking to another set of friends who happened to know someone in the DMV area, because I don't know if you remember, he had that call out video where he was like, "Get me the address," and one of the people that I knew one of the things when he called out. So we were kind of having a kiki because I was like, I want that nigga to come down here. Oh, I want that shit down. Please bring your ass down here. Talk about I'm in your ass. I'm in your ass.
So
this is a Wendy's.
Real talk, somebody I went to school with thought he was talking about me, right? Somebody, because he mentioned somebody in there. His name was Antonio Spandiferous or some shit like that. And he thought he was talking about me. I was like, nigga, that is not my name, though. And if he and if he gonna address me, nigga, it's Mr. Spann and nothing else. I don't give a fuck what he talking about. But he wasn't talking about me. But my boy tagged me, and I'm like, I think Umar after you Spann. Like, nah, G, that ain't what that ain't what it is.
Yeah, but, and then. But okay, so I noticed, because it's all building up to the reason why we're here, and I have to say this because I've been dying. I noticed that whenever this nigga records, he's either in his car or standing outside, because I don't know if you all have been paying attention to some of the receipts people have been collecting over on Twitter of his like best rants. Okay.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's what it said is gold.
Gold. Because it's like, bruh, if you look through that thread, he's either outside
in a car
or in his car.
Outside that school.
In that park across the street.
Right.
From that school. They was going to have, we got food trucks. We're going to get some sisters to come fry some food. We're going to have the kids. I hope we got some play dates. Like, he said all that stuff. So I was just like, And he collected like how much money for his school?
I don't know.
He got at least one $20 Red Lobster gift card.
Gifts. Donations. Gifts.
I was like, we going to Red Lobster.
You going to Red Lobster.
Man, how many kids gonna be able to benefit from that goddamn Red Lobster gift card?
Donations. Thank you for the $10, sister. Next time, make it 20. But 20. Thank you.
Sister Avanti is like,
how about you just give my money back? You give my $10.
You better dispute that charge, sis. Dispute it.
Now, the thing that brought us here together today is Umar Johnson. As a matter of fact, Umar Johnson was supposed to speak here in the Detroit area on the 27th. But apparently, there was a contingent of adversaries to met Umar Johnson, try to get that thing not to happen. He was supposed to talk at the Wayne County Community College District. I forget which campus it was, because there's a lot of Wayne County community colleges and all over Wayne County.
Lord have mercy.
But apparently, they told the administration of the Wayne County Community College that this nigga smoked crack.
Saying I smoke crack.
Hold on. We got video. We got video.
My soul is ready.
So let me pull this up so y'all can watch right along with your boy, man. Because of course I ain't gonna leave y'all out here like that. We gotta watch this as a family. We gotta watch as a family. We gotta watch as a family. So so let's see what the fuck Umar is talking about, man. Let me turn this up, make sure everybody can hear it. Let's see what he's talking about.
Detroit, Thursday, February the 27th, from 11 a.m. until 1 p.m. But we have a problem. Detroit, we have a problem. The committee to destroy the life and works of Dr. Umar Ifatunde, The committee to destroy the life and works of Dr. Umar Ifatunde has already started up again. Detroit, although these people don't live in your city, they don't even live in your state, they are contacting the college to try to force them to cancel my lecture this Thursday to close out Black History Month. They're claiming I smoke crack. Detroit, Thursday, February the 27th, from 11 a.m. until 1 p.m. But we have a problem.
Yes!
But we have a problem.
Look.
Detroit, we have a problem. The committee to destroy the life and works of Dr. Umar Ifatunde. The committee to destroy the life and works
This is the
of
one with the
Dr.
OnlyFans,
Umar Ifatunde has already started up again.
They're saying I smoke crack.
Detroit, although these people don't live in your city,
like they
don't even live in your state.
This is what they're saying.
They are contacting the college to try to force them to cancel my lecture this Thursday to close out Black History Month. They're claiming I smoke crack. Detroit.
Do it again. I have questions about OnlyFans. Nobody's answered my question yet.
It was Luke.
They notify you?
Do it again. Play it again. Encore. Play it again.
Oh, God.
Oh, man. This I smoke crack. You know I'm getting a drop off of that shit. Damn. I smoke crack.
Wow, we're not even talking about the OnlyFans part. I'm like, first of all,
First of all, the OnlyFans part, right? Y'all did y'all see the name on the OnlyFans?
Tulsi, your brand? Was it Tulsi?
Tulsi 2020.
Yes, Tulsi 2020. Yep.
Tulsi 2020.
Uh-huh.
Tulsi Gabbard got a motherfucking OnlyFans out here. Y'all.
Are you fucking kidding me?
And he followed it.
Now listen. I don't know if that was. We want to be factual here, family. We want to be factual here, family.
It only matters if you say it 3 times.
Right.
You gotta say it 3 times.
Now,
3 times.
Now, we don't know if the recording came from Umar Johnson's phone, right? Like this was somebody recording a Periscope or whatever the fuck it was that Umar Johnson got going on. And they also think that Tulsi Gabbard might be a presidential candidate that they like to vote for and also fuck. There's that thing, right? The other thing, I take that back. We can't assume that everybody on OnlyFans is just showing ass and titties. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people out here promoting shit on OnlyFans and ain't got nothing to do with no porno shit.
Ass and titties. Ass and titties. Ass and titties.
I'm trying to
Come get savage with me.
I'm trying to be fair, man.
I'm trying to be fair. Shake your ass and titties. Shake that ass and titties. Ass and titties. Shake your ass and titties.
I'm trying to be fair, man.
Come get savage with me. They're the big.
It's like we can't be fair with the OnlyFans. I'm like, see, this took this to a whole nother level.
So check it out, though, right? So that was his thing. That apparently some people were trying to get him to not speak at the Wayne County Community College and claim that he smoked crack. Apparently that event did happen and Umar Johnson did speak.
Wow.
On the 27th.
So, well.
Yeah. Couple this with the Kobe Bryant conspiracy. Somebody posted on Twitter and I saw this shit today and I just died. He said they killed Kobe so they can call us Toby. I was just like...
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Shout out.
I thought that was why they put Bill Cosby in jail.
They killed Bill. They had the free meal so they can kill Bill.
Kill Bill. Yep.
They said, free Kwame, y'all. Free Kwame.
I'm going to just tell y'all, man, Umar Johnson, y'all gotta stop listening to that guy, man. Like
he is so dumb.
Y'all see
he is homeless. Y'all don't listen to the homeless people y'all see, but you're gonna listen to this homeless man.
He's homeless. He's homeless. As he stands there singing for donations. He stands there singing for gifts.
God damn it.
God damn.
We should look.
Polo take
Free Kwame. Free Kwame. Just let him out now. Just let him out. Y'all don't have to listen to no lecture from no crackhead. So y'all just let Kwame out. Let him out.
I know
give
Umar.
Give him free.
I know Umar be listening to episodes of podcasts like this and just be like,
niggas hate on us. You hate on a nigga. I don't understand why you hate on me, nigga.
We don't understand.
Show love, nigga. It don't show nothing. It don't cost nothing to show a nigga love.
I was doing this getting money.
Show a nigga some love, nigga.
Wabbly dabbly.
Niggas out here don't love me, nigga.
I know he used to be.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Yeah, man. That was Umar, man. Umar is in the Special Hotep Unit. Now, I got somebody else who's in the Special Hotep Unit, y'all. And this is somebody who most people wouldn't necessarily expect to be in the Special Hotep Unit. Like, you wouldn't expect this motherfucker to be in the Special Hotep Unit, right?
Oh boy.
But I'm gonna tell you right now, Hoteps brought this motherfucker into the whole Special Hotep Unit.
Oh no.
And our Hotep inductee is Harvey Weinstein.
Oh god damn it.
Yeah, Harvey Weinstein is in the Special Hotep Unit, man.
Let me fix my fascinator right now.
Yeah, go ahead and get it together.
Okay.
Because right now, what we're about to do is we've got we've got to pay a special tribute to a talking point that has been all over the social medias from, I want to say it's been 3 years now, like 2017. It's the
Sorry.
Take your time, Pastor. Take your time.
Hold on, Pastor. Hold on.
Take your time.
Hold on. I gotta get into character. Hold up.
We are terrible. We are terrible. Terrible. We got gifts, donations.
Nah. My name is Rufus. Cleophas the Third.
It's always a Cleophas.
I am the pastor of Hotep Church on the Mount. Imhotep, Sheba on the Rock, Pyramid on 3rd Street. And what we are here to witness today is the homegoing of the talking point. That is, what about Harvey Weinstein? Now I know that there's a lot of you who feel like Harvey Weinstein was unjustly prosecuted. And the reason why you held on to Harvey Weinstein is because we thought that R. Kelly was going to get away with it. I said we thought Bill Cosby was going to get away with it. And I be goddamn if we didn't think that white man was going to be our savior. But these motherfuckers in the damn law enforcement done took that damn talking point away from us. What about Harvey Weinstein was only 3 years old? He wasn't here with us long.
Baby.
He didn't deserve what happened to him.
Yes, he did.
They about to What about Harvey Weinstein? Is about to get anywhere between 5 to 30 years. Bill Cosby has already got 3 to 10. Somehow, some way, these crackers done found a way to give this motherfucker more time than Bill Cosby. And I don't know how to feel about it.
Don't know.
I may not get there with you, but I'll be damned if we gonna let What About Harvey Weinstein's death be in vain.
Yeah.
So for all my Hoteps, I want you to do this here. I want you to move the goalpost. And I want you to start talking about Roman Polanski. And I want you to start highlighting the name of Woody Allen.
Yeah.
I want y'all to know that these motherfuckers right here will never see the amount of pain and punishment that What About Harvey Weinstein is gonna get. Because we champion that. They only locked this motherfucker up because we champion that. And if you don't understand that, then damn it, I don't know what to tell you. So I want you to pray. Pray for your ability to rape a motherfucker without any consequence. Because it's slowly but surely going away. Let the church say amen.
Amen, Pastor. Amen. Oh, my baby. Heaven waits for me.
God damn, dog. God damn, dog.
Playing Mahalia song. Sister Gwen, sing me Mahalia song.
Hey, get that collection plate around the side over there. Get that collection plate. Motherfucker, get it over there on the side. Shit. They giving motherfucker shit. Look at this. Look at all these motherfuckers. Hey, man. Hey, take them Hotep shoes away. I don't wear them. Only Vapor Max. The real Vapor Max. I don't wear that shit. Fucking African shoes. Get the fuck out of there. Oh, man. That has been Special Hotep. In the black community, pseudo-consciously based on especially heinous.
It was so young.
The dedicated misogynist
had his whole life
frauds are members of an elite squad.
But you know that What About Harvey Weinstein argument was around the same age as Caillou, so fuck that nigga.
Wait, what?
Wow.
I'm just saying. That I said that What About Harvey Weinstein was around the same age as Caillou.
We don't like Caillou now?
Fuck Caillou, that bald head bastard. Oh! Fuck Caillou. I will swing on Caillou. If I see Caillou in the street, I will slap him. Get out of Caillou. His little whiny fuckface bald head ass, alopecia no eyebrows, having little Chinese curry out smelling in the booty ass little boy. Fuck him.
Wow.
Fuck Caillou.
Yikes.
Girl. Sorry.
Damn. I'm not prepared.
Y'all listen, y'all didn't raise children in the age of Caillou.
And it shows.
Because let me tell you something.
It shows. Because I'm like,
one day I almost punched my TV. Oh my God. I was like, oh no, you ain't watching this little nigga no more. Fuck him. Oh, fuck him. Fuck his mama, his daddy. Fuck everybody in their house except little Rosie. Because he tortured that little girl. And ain't nobody smacked that little boy.
Caillou Hive gonna come after you.
The views expressed by Cook Simmons tonight here on the Spann Report podcast are those of Cook Simmons and Cook Simmons alone.
Yep.
It's like,
I said
man.
Caillou, if Caillou heard me, Caillou, if you listening and you hear me, my nigga, what's up?
Oh man.
Pull up, Caillou.
The Beehive buzzes. What the Caillou Hive do? They ride on that tricycle?
Caillou is a whiny fuckface little bastard. Fuck Caillou. Shit.
What the Caillou Hive do? What they got?
Fuck him. Fuck that little boy.
Well, all right. Caillou, fuck you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I wasn't ready.
Listen, let me tell you something. When y'all have children and then you let them sit down and watch Caillou, and then they decide they want to have a tantrum, and, well, this is what I want, mommy. Let me tell you something.
My baby Mr. Caillou, the whole Caillou thing.
My little nephew loves Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. So
Yes.
he's hot dog, hot diggity dog.
Let me tell you something. If tell his daddy, tell his mama, the day that little boy starts watching Caillou, holler back. Holler back at me.
I'm about to ask him right now. Does he watch Caillou? He'll be
Holler
like,
back
no.
at me. I'm telling you to ask any parent who's had a child that watched Caillou, who's had to watch Caillou. Whatever.
I feel your pains, Cook. I really do.
Wow. I didn't realize it was so deep. Them wounds are deep, sis.
I can't stand that little boy. Ooh, I want to swing on him every time.
And we can tell. It shows. Now I'm like, I have like secondhand, like, fuck him. I don't know what's going on.
Let me tell you something. Go ahead, ask Twitter about Caillou and see what they say. Ask the internet about Caillou and see what the internet says. Everybody knows.
I don't want to go down that road because I'm scared.
Let me tell you something.
I'm scared.
Caillou is an incel. I'm telling you.
I'm gonna tell you right
if
now.
He grew up, he's an incel. I got to be.
Caillou right now probably listening to this shit like,
nigga, what I do?
Like, nigga,
what I do?
Be a little bitch.
I thought we were talking about what about Harvey Weinstein? See, he gonna bring it back. He gonna resurrect that baby.
You're talking all that about me, but you're not saying it about Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah, it's crazy.
What about Franklin?
I ain't raped anybody yet.
No, he gonna bring up every bad person. What about Mickey Mouse? What about Franklin?
You know what Goofy did to Daisy?
Mm-hmm. See?
Fuck Caillou.
All right.
Oh.
Time to move on. Fuck Caillou, nigga. Fuck you, all right? Fuck that nigga. time to move on.
Wow.
Time for us to go to Proud to Be an American, y'all.
That I'm proud to be an American.
I'm everywhere.
I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
All right, that's enough of that shit. Proud to Be American time here at the Spann Report podcast. And our first story here, Proud to Be an American, is Congress has finally made it a federal crime to lynch a motherfucker 65 years after the death of Emmett Till. So we're going to read the story here. This comes out of NBCnews.com. It says that Congress previously failed to pass anti-lynching legislation nearly 200 times, starting with a bill introduced in 1900 by North Carolina Representative George Henry White, the only black member of Congress at the time. 65 years after 14-year-old Emmett Till was lynched in Mississippi, Congress has approved legislation designating lynching as a hate crime under federal law. The bill, introduced by Illinois Representative Bobby Rush and named after Till, comes 120 years after Congress first considered anti-lynching legislation and after dozens of similar efforts were defeated. The measure was approved 410-4 on Wednesday in the House and now goes to the White House, where President Donald Trump is expected to sign it. The Senate unanimously passed the legislation last year. It designates lynching as a federal hate crime punishable by up to life in prison, a fine, or both. Rush, a Democrat whose Chicago district includes Till's former home, said that the bill will belatedly achieve justice for Till and more than 4,000 other lynching victims, most of them African American. Till, who was black, was brutally tortured and killed in 1955 after a white woman accused him of grabbing her and whistling at her in a Mississippi grocery store. The killing shocked the country and stoked the civil rights movement. So, here's the thing. Y'all remember Justin Amash?
The name sounds familiar.
Justin Amash was a congressman here in Michigan who was a Republican who actually renounced his republicanism. Really, I think they kind of renounced his ass after he thought that Donald Trump should be impeached for, the shit that Donald Trump was impeached for. Justin Amash was one of the people who voted against this being a federal hate crime. There were three other motherfuckers, but he's the only one that really matters to me because, 4 motherfuckers thought they're like, you know what? Lynching, not so bad.
States' rights. States' rights.
States' rights is another argument that a lot of them make, right? Because it wouldn't surprise me that some of them would probably stand in states' rights on this, like, because if you make this a federal hate crime, then it takes the punishment aspect away from the state or local law enforcement officials. So if it becomes a federal crime, then suddenly, well, shit, whatever the fuck y'all got going on in y'all little municipality don't really mean shit. This is a federal case now. The feds are going to take over this, despite what, your little however you would protest the state the feds intervening in this. I just thought it was interesting that, like, you felt like it was important enough to get Donald Trump impeached up out of the White House, so much so that you sacrificed your standing in the Republican Party, and yet you thought that the feds coming in to adjudicate hate crimes, lynching in particular, was a bad idea. Didn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. But again, this is proud to be an American. It ain't supposed to make sense. You know what I'm saying? It ain't supposed to make sense. Like, the whole point of Proud to be an American is, like, as much as America purports itself to be this shining beacon on a hill for those who come and seek liberty and freedom and all of this other shit, truthfully speaking, it's uglier than a motherfucker for a lot of people of color here in this country, and we've been dealing with it since about 1619. So
states' rights. Yeah, states' rights.
Now, for those of you who seek to come to America and, achieve the American dream, here's the other part about this, and this is also why this is proud to be an American. The Trump administration, specifically the Justice Department, is seeking to create an office within the Justice Department to denaturalize immigrants if they commit crimes here in the United States. So we get a story here. This comes out of the NewYorkTimes.com. It says the Justice Department said Wednesday that it had created an official section in its immigration office to strip citizenship rights from naturalized immigrants, a move that gives more heft to the Trump administration's broad efforts to remove from the country immigrants who had committed crimes. The denaturalization section underscores the department's commitment to bring justice to terrorists, war criminals, sex offenders, and other fraudsters who illegally obtain naturalization. How does one do that?
What?
And see, here's the thing.
How does
They're
one
going to
do that?
revoke citizenship. They're revoking citizenship like you revoke someone's license, meaning like you've committed a crime, therefore we're going to revoke your license.
Yeah.
Or we're going to revoke your citizenship. So here's the thing. I don't believe for 1 second they're going to apply that fairly or on an ethical scale. So
it's only for the brown immigrants.
I don't think anybody in their right mind believes that this has anything to do with them.
I don't even think they're going to
curb terrorism.
They're on non-immigrants.
Yeah, I don't think that this had anything to do with them trying to curb terrorism or trying to find war criminals or sex traffickers or anything. This is when you understand who is in charge of this White House, who's been in charge of the immigration policy within the White House, which is Stephen Miller, who is a hardline, right wing, pretty much zealot. When you understand who's in charge of that, and then you hear that, like, okay, so they're coming up with a denaturalization section of the Justice Department specifically to get people up out of here. And then the thing is, they try to wrap it up in like, who would be against us getting rid of sex offenders, war criminals, and terrorists? The thing is, we don't believe that that's what you're going after. War criminals, terrorists, and sex offenders.
Correct.
You're trying to get rid of people who are here legally. Already trying to minimize the amount of legal refugees even that come into this country. So the fact that they're trying to go even further within the Justice Department to have a whole ass office dedicated to denaturalizing U.S. citizens is crazy. Now, it continues to say, it says the denaturalization section will further the department's efforts to pursue those who unlawfully obtain citizenship status and ensure that they are held accountable for their fraudulent conduct. The move promises to further expand a practice that once used infrequently that was once used infrequently, but that the Trump administration has turned to as part of its immigration crackdown. It has raised alarms among some department lawyers who fear that denaturalization lawsuits could be used against immigrants who have not committed serious crimes at all. Critics say that the administration's desire to prioritize denaturalizations underscores the idea that naturalized citizens have fewer rights than those born in the United States, and that immigrants should not assume that they cannot be deported even if they go through the naturalization process. They're trying to get these motherfuckers about the paint, and I've said this before on the show. As a matter of fact, I'll say it again. Like when I had the guys from Shop Talk on here, one of the questions that was asked to me was like, "Yo, why do you think that Trump has problems with these folks?"
Mm-hmm.
And you go back to the fact that like this country's racial makeup is constantly changing, and you got a lot of people who look at Donald Trump and this Trump administration who are trying to stem the tide of the browning of America. 2043 is when America is slated to be majority minority in this country, and if they could somehow solidify white power of the political apparatus, if they could solidify the majority of white people as a majority population in this country, they will do so. If they can codify it, here's the other part, if they can codify laws that prioritize white people now while they're in power, it'll precede when, these laws will proceed when they become a minority. So they codify their hold on the government, so to speak. And I think a lot of that drives what the Trump administration is doing right now. So if they can denaturalize a lot of these folks, and you hear it when Donald Trump talks about who they want as immigrants even coming here. They don't want people coming from the Caribbean. They don't want people coming from African countries. They don't want people coming from the Middle East. They don't want people coming from Asia, but they do want people coming from Europe.
And Canada.
And the Canadians are like, nigga, do we really want to fuck with that? They're
like,
like we see y'all, man. Y'all live right next door, man. There's some bullshit down there. Like, y'all the ghetto. Like, for real. Canada be looking at us like we the ghetto. So, yeah, man. Like, again, I will say it till I'm blue in the face. Take y'all asses out to vote. Make sure you're registered to vote. There's an app that we got a link to on this episode today. You can hit that link on and grab that app and register thousands, like millions of motherfuckers. Go register everybody you can, really. Because this whole thing of like, yo, they illegally obtain naturalization, that's bullshit, man.
I was just getting ready to say, like, did they go to what is it, a forger and get like a fake passport? Like, how do you, what are they talking about?
I don't know how that even became a thing. Like, I didn't even know that to be a thing. That you can...
It's just to strike fear in the folks. It's like, see, they gonna try to like get into our country illegally. They gonna take something from us. Like, girl,
but
no.
Citizenship illegally though? Like, how does that even?
It's like, how?
Like, how do you do that? So I can get some motherfuckers over here. No, I'm just saying,
like, it costs thousands of dollars to become a citizen.
Yeah.
People who have done it have said it. Like, do you know how long it's actually taking me? Like 8 or 9 years, and that's because of how expensive it is. Y'all just so stupid. Y'all think Bernie Sanders played football. So I mean, good to hell luck
for the Detroit Lions.
He's like, he marched with King and played for the Detroit Lions. Man, Bernie did a lot.
Yeah. So yeah, that's been proud to be an American, y'all. Let's get the fuck up out of there.
That I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
All right. It's enough of that shit. Now, normally, as a matter of fact, the ass hat of the week has been largely retired. But you know what?
Yo, we got some hats now, motherfuckers.
the Ass Hat of the Week this week here at the Spann Report Podcast. And our Ass Hat of the Week this week is none other than these coon-ass niggas that went to go see Donald Trump this week.
Woo!
Bruh.
Woo!
As a matter of fact, one of these goofy motherfuckers, you know what? I'm not going to say it. I'm going to let y'all hear this.
Oh, Lord.
I'm going to let y'all see and hear this shit. So that y'all know this is a well-received ass hat, man. I don't just give out ass hats like all willy-nilly, you know. You just can't get them motherfuckers out, you know. But this motherfucker here is like...
They're always earned.
He earned this to all be damned. Let me rewind this here and turn this... Okay, so let's see what this... Listen to this, y'all.
But I gotta say this because this is Black History Month. Man, you the first black president.
Yo, internet, I want to
What's that domino silk? I'm like, because is it pure zirconia or polyester? Which one was that?
I don't know. All I know is it was a...
Oh, okay.
But I gotta say this because this is Black History Month.
Okay, yeah. It keeps buffering. But this nigga told Donald Trump. This nigga told Donald Trump that he is the first black president of America.
You mother. That's it. We're the black witches.
Crack.
Niggas
smoke crack. Niggas is smoking crack in the White House. What is happening?
They in the car with Umar smoking the crack.
They smoke crack.
Now
you smoke crack, don't you?
Who's that? Roland Martin actually named the guy on Twitter. He found which person it was who said it. I can't find that right now. Doesn't really matter. Fuck him. Fuck his whole family. Fuck his label and his crew. I can't believe you niggas, man.
This is so like you told a whole racist white man that he is the first black president after 2 terms of Obama. You said that out your whole black ass face. Yeah, that's it. We're the black witches because we raising all the ancestors to come after your asses. That's it. Somebody go and stand in front of the mirror and go say Candyman and bring him out of Cabrini Green and come stab these niggas for real.
So many Chicago references today.
That's it. Somebody head to Cabrini Green and go talk to Candyman for real.
Yeah, man. I don't even
go get him.
I don't even know the nigga's name. I'm just gonna call him fool ass nigga. Like fool ass nigga is the ass hat of the week this week.
Fool
here
ass.
Report.
Old head ass. Like fuck you forever.
Man, for real. But as y'all know, we do close out every show with some good news. So we do have some champs.
The champ is here. The champ is here. The champ is here.
All right, our champ of the week this week here at the Spann Report Podcast is none other than Katherine Johnson. Katherine Johnson is one of our champs of the week this week. Some of you who may not be familiar with who Katherine Johnson is, Katherine Johnson was one of the women featured in the movie Hidden Figures. She was a NASA mathematician who helped put men on the fucking moon. The reason why Katherine Johnson is a champ of the week this week is we did want to highlight the fact that, like, not only was she a great black woman, and for a long time she was a great black woman who was obscured from the rightful notoriety that she should have obtained. Katherine Johnson, we did lose her this week. She was 101 years old. And so, we would be remiss to not highlight Katherine Johnson and her contribution to America, her contribution to Black America, her contribution to the world. And she is a champ of the week this week here at the Spann Report Podcast. Rest in peace, sister. Real talk. Job well done. Our other champ of the week this week here at the Spann Report Podcast is Crossroads Church. Now, y'all know here at the Spann Report podcast, we give the church a lot of shit. And partially because of the lack of community outreach, the lack of civil rights outreach, looking out for those, or what they would say, the least of these or the least of us. Crossroads Church has paid off or wiped out the medical debt of 45,000 families with a grand total of $46.5 million.
Wow. That's a lot.
It's amazing.
Yeah, we're going to read this story. This comes out of fox2detroit.com. It says, Crossroads Church partnered with RIP Medical Debt, a medical debt relief nonprofit, to wipe out debts for people in Ohio, Kentucky, Tennessee, and Indiana. They will receive bright yellow envelopes this week, letting them know the good news. I want to give us an opportunity to multiply our impact. Senior Pastor Brian Tome told his congregation in a November 23rd sermon announcing the chance to give. They'll get a letter that says, "Congratulations, your debt has been paid because someone loves you and there is a God that has not forgotten about you." On Sunday, the pastor read aloud a message from one of the lucky beneficiaries. "I received this piece of mail in this bright yellow envelope and started to throw it away," the pastor read. "But when I saw that it said your medical debt has been paid, I thought, seriously, wait a minute. When I read, I got emotional," the person continued, "because I have been needing a break with getting my credit together. I really appreciate the gift." The church wiped out the debt for 41,233 households in Ohio for a total of $42.8 million. Wow. 2,974 Kentucky households abolishing $1.9 million in debt, and 503 Tennessee households for $1.5 million, and 136 Indiana homes for $200,000. For every $100 donated to RIP medical debt, $10,000 in medical debt was wiped out, according to the New York-based organization. Crossroads Church recent deed constitutes the largest amount of medical debt eliminated in a nonprofit's history. So,
wow.
Yeah, man, like I said, I know we give the church a lot of shit. And when you think about the types of folks who celebrate and, elevate the likes of a Donald Trump and the policies that come down because of that, the persecution of the LGBTQ community, the insistence on Supreme Court justices to besmirch or encroach upon the rights of women to have the right to an abortion. They tend to speak with a real loud voice in that way. But I felt that it was important to highlight at least one good story and give the credit to those who deserve the credit for helping so many families and wiping out. That's a lot of fucking money, y'all. $42 million in debt that they were able to wipe clean for folks and give people a new start when it comes to their financial well-being and everything. So shout out to Crossroads Church for their contributions. And they are also champs of the week this week here at the Spann Report podcast, y'all. It's a time for us to go. We've been going on for a while. But before we get up out of here, Stephanie, let everybody know how they can get in touch with you, sister.
Thank you so much for having me. You can find the Mocha Minutes podcast wherever you find podcasts. Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Play, TuneIn, CastBox, iHeartRadio. You can also reach out to me on all social medias. Handle is Mocha Minute. You can also reach out to me via Twitter. Personally, Sunny Twote, that SUNNYTWTETHAT, because I said what I said. I told what I told, and it is a Zaya Wade Stan account.
There you go. And Cook, you still here, baby? Let everybody know how they can get in touch with you.
Hey y'all, you can reach me on Instagram at Cook_Simmons. You can also catch me on Podomatic, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, and anywhere RSS radio catchers are picked up, as well as Google Play. And you can catch me occasionally on Twitter at the Cooking Gooch, because I still have that handle.
Hey.
But for the most part, I'm just here, whatever, just popped in. They let me do this. Hey. I appreciate y'all, because I had to let that out. Thanks.
Ain't no thing, but I'm going to tell y'all this right now, though. I got a confession.
What?
I got a confession, y'all. Hopefully,
What?
hopefully the people done left and they done stop listening to, I had Popeyes this week, y'all.
Uh-oh.
I had a whole 4-piece.
Ooh. Not the sandwich? No Sammy?
Nah, I had a whole 4-piece, y'all.
Ooh.
With the red beans and rice.
Oh,
wow.
That's the only way to go.
And it was good.
Mm.
I tried, man. I tried.
You tried. You did. You know what? It's
Yeah.
okay.
I tried.
It's all right.
I tried.
I'm glad you let that out.
Mm-hmm. It's just a little backslide. You be all right.
This is all coming out, It's just...
Come on, Sister Gloria, give us a selection. Give us a selection. Give us a selection.
I had a breast and some thighs and some wings and a leg.
Oh.
He's got to clean up what he messed up.
It was spicy.
Starting that diet over again. You gotta clean up what you messed up. Starting that diet over again.
So I say that because
nigga ate that chicken.
I say that because I kind of want to get some more.
Oh
boy, that's right. If there's a cure for this, I want it. I want it. If there's a remedy, I don't need it.
Yo, man, it's time to get out of here. Let me let y'all know how to get in touch with your boy, man. Hit me up on the hotline, area code 313-288-0485. Leave those voicemail messages. Of course, those messages will get played here live on the show. Responded to in kind, 313-288-0485. Hit me up on the email at feedback@thespinreport.com. Somebody other than Shaka1914. Come on, man. Do your boy that.
No, he writing in. Be prepared for like the nonsensical, no punctuation.
I'm saying I couldn't even finish reading
put
that
your
shit.
letter and word and let the squiggles guide you.
Yeah. Feedback@thespinreport.com. Leave those emails. We'll read them here live on the show. Respond to you here as well. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. It's Mr. Spann on both of those, man. So go ahead, Mr._Spann. Go ahead and follow me on those. Follow me and chop it up with me throughout the week. Leave those iTunes and or Stitcher reviews, 5 stars preferably, because those are the ones who get read live here on the show. We really appreciate everybody who does that. Also with the Castbox comments and the ratings on Castbox, we really do like y'all to do that as well. So thank you so much for those of you who will do that, And also hit us up on the website, www.thespinreport.com. Leave us comments there. Donate to the show as often as you like, as much as you like. And, of course, we appreciate every dime over here at the Spann Report Podcast Network, man. And it's time for us to go. We've been on here for a while, like damn near 3 hours.
Hey.
But we will talk to you guys again soon. But until next time, fam, peace.